What is going on, guys? It is your boy Vladis coming at you this Saturday night. Is it Saturday? Yeah, right? Is it Sunday or Saturday? It's one of those days. I don't know. It's been trippy. Well, hopefully you guys saw the video I posted today. I really just want to thank the couple of different guilds that I went to talk to get feedback. And, you know, I've talked to a lot of people about professions and how the state of that is. How does it feel? Me mostly, I've been doing mostly gathering and processing, so I haven't really crafted a lot of stuff. But I know it was... there has been some issues that I have seen and what I have encountered, and mainly I think the first 2 points are probably the most important to me. I'm not saying that everything else is kind of irrelevant in my video, but at least to me specifically, I feel rarity and the lackluster leveling experience is the most important, I would say. It just feels bad. And again, I truly hope that the profession talent trees remedy my first point. But as far as the second point of rarity and how common, you know, these really high-end materials are, especially with now the marketplace and trading being very much, you know, a thing, just rarity just feels... It doesn't feel rare. Like, you just have these guilds that are just buying up like all this epic and legendary material and just making these really high-end pieces. I don't like that. Not saying that it hasn't been nice to actually craft these pieces and get the data and see like how does an epic feel at this level, how does a legendary feel at this level. Like, I'm glad we did all that. But I want my progression as a gatherer to have like an actual road of progression than me feeling like there is literally no difference of me being a level 6 herbalist to a level 26 herbalist. It feels almost exactly the same. So it's just kind of meh. There was a video that I wanted to see. It was by some, I've not seen this person, Hello J Tello. He came out with a video talking about the real issues with phase 2 Ashes of Creation. And like I said, I've never seen this content. I've never, you know, I don't know what I'm really in for, but judging by some of the chapter markers, you know, we'll see, you know. So let's go ahead and oh, he's a classic WoW streamer. Perfect. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and check out his content regarding Ashes and see what his problems are. Like, what are the issues regarding phase 2? And I have a pretty good idea. I mean, we'll definitely we'll check it out right now. Let me hire up.
Yo, what's up, guys? Tello here. Back to you with another video for today. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't drink anything for New Year's, but I did sleep my ass off, so much love to you. I hope you guys had a damn good one. And let's talk about some drama going on today. A little bit of drama, a little bit of, oh shit, settle down, all right? I'll kiss you. But truth be told, there is some problems going on in Ashes of Creation. I'm not gonna lie. If you have not been living under a rock, you are seeing right now on YouTube that there is a lot of people making videos about the current state of phase 2, and they have every right to do so, to the point where you even see bigger creators like Narc basically saying, I'm done, I quit, I'm over Ashes of Creation, and it's not worth it at the current time because the game is just really not ready. So let's go over, you know, my notes here. We got the good old notepad. I ain't perfect, so settle down, back up, or I'll pimp slap.
I mean, what if, like, as an example, like, let's put this in another context. Let's just put it into a universe where the desert was more fleshed out with assets and the freeholds had just as much content as what was shown in the Freeholds live stream, would people still be super excited for phase 2? I don't think so. Like, I'm just being, like I said, let's play devil's advocate for a second. But if the desert biome was, you know, and again, the preview wasn't as fleshed out as it was. I mean, we have the scorpion, we have a lot of the assets that are in there, but let's just say that the desert was more fleshed out than what it currently is. And let's say the Freeholds does have a lot of the systems that we saw from the Freehold live stream as well. I think a lot of the concerns that people have for phase 2 would still be valid. So I just think people are, they're trying to find a scapegoat of why, like, people are saying like the, oh my God, am I dying? Jesus, hold on guys, so sorry. I should probably log out. Here, let me log out real quick. All right. But all right. Well, let's just keep going. Let's keep hearing what he has to say. Let me see. The goalpost would shift to the traffic's not being there. No, 100%. I really agree with that. They would just shift to some, like, okay, where's my other scapegoat that I can shift off to in the current state of performance with the devs being away on vacation? Yeah. I mean, I just think that the honeymoon phase for whether it's creators, whether it's people in the community, are starting to wear. And I think they did have a lot of fun for phase 1, but that fun also sank in another reality for them of just how unfinished this game is and how long it's going to truly take to get to where the launch is, and that saddens them. That makes them sad. Let me see. In my opinion, they threw this iteration together while people were off for holidays and gave their people a break. Oh, absolutely. I mean, clearly. I mean, even when Steven was streaming, it was kind of like that. How are you doing, Vlad? I'm doing great. Kenko, thank you so much for asking. Appreciate it. Chester Horse, what's going on, man? Good to see you. And also, no one, bro, always love your content, dude. Always appreciate you showing up in chat and being a part of the discussion, dude. Always. All right, let's keep hearing.
You. However, let's get involved. So, number 1, the cheating and exploitation in Ashes of Creation. It's getting out of hand. We got Absolutely. AFK events. We got people still finding ways to, dupe their gear. People.
So we're watching this video. After this video, I'm going to concentrate on Fighter. I'm going to play the Fighter. He's level 7, but I kind of want to get him up to at least like level 10. So I'm probably going to do that tonight. Of course, talking with you guys, talking with chat, just playing the game and just chilling, relaxing, talking Ashes, dude. That's what we're doing.
Getting gold at a crazy rate, and they're already leagues ahead of anybody else trying to get involved into the game, to the point where it gives the player that is either returning from phase 1 or just trying this portion out of the phase for the very first time, not really an interest to want to continue forward, because it's already leaving a sour taste at the dinner table. We didn't even get to the appetizer and dinner yet. True. And you're already shitting the bed at the Diet Coke. We have a problem. But basically, there's a positive to this as well, because it gives Intrepid Studios and the developers a way to say, you know what, we see the exploits going on, we see what you guys are.
You playing Rogue? I've seen Steven saying late January, early February. So we're not getting Rogue in January at all. What Steven said in his live stream, that the PTR might have Rogue at the end of the month to test. So if you have PTR access, then we might be testing the Rogue at the end of January. But like I said, I'm thinking potentially January's live stream might end up being Rogue, just like I predicted last month. So we shall see. But yeah, I'll be playing. I'll make a character. I'll see what the Rogue is about. I'm probably going to play it in the PTR before it actually goes live. So I'll have more of a, is this going to be something I'm going to like? Is it something I'm not going to like? We'll have to wait and see. So, but yeah, I'll try it out for sure.
doing, we could fix these now. Let's go back into the coding, let's get the engineers involved, and let's address these problems in some patches, and we go from there.
I cannot, no one can stream PTR.
Since they're not going to do any wipes, and a lot of people have already benefited from this, it's too little too late, in my opinion, unless they do a wipe, right? And if they do another wipe, I feel like at this point people are just going to be annoyed, because they're already bummed out from the wipe from last phase. I mean, people are, you know...
Let me just speak on this real quick. I think there are... I was actually considering making a video of like probably like top 3 or even top 5 reasons why Ashes of Creation Phase 2 needs to be wiped again. And I think this is definitely one of them. This isn't the biggest issue, personally. The biggest reason why I believe Intrepid needs to wipe, that was me, not you, is the Vaseline and node system. The data they need for Vaseline and the leveling of nodes to occur, we all need to be back at level 1, leveling the nodes naturally. It's going to have very irregular data, with majority of people being over like level 15 or even over level 20. And if they just reset the nodes, just like he said in the live stream, in his personal live stream, let me be very clear, and they just reset the nodes back to 1 or 0 or wilderness, that's very irregular, unnatural data. And I don't think that's going to serve Intrepid, and that's not going to serve us, the players. The other big reason is what he's talking about right now with exploits and dupes, and just the amount of stuff that's been going on lately from a lot of these very, very competitive guilds. So there's also probably going to, hopefully, fingers crossed, there's going to be a mass permabans of people that have gotten their warnings, got their accounts flagged from the first time. Those repeated offenders hopefully will just be gone completely. And like I said yesterday, if you watched me the last time I streamed, you know, a lot of these people are PI. A lot of these people have invested thousands of dollars of purchased cosmetic packs leading up to Alpha 2. And if you've been in the community long enough, you know that these cosmetic packs, you know, if you bought every single bit of it, that's almost like $100 per pack, potentially, a little bit more actually, depending on what was in the pack. So you have these people that already have PI access. To get that alone is $2,500. And then on top of that, all of the cosmetic packs they purchased from 2017 to, you know, basically what, 2022, 2023, 2024, January 2024. So that's a lot. That's a lot. And I think, you know, again, these people that Steven has befriended over the years that are PI, I wouldn't consider those friends, because friends would not do that to your game. If they are really your friends, they wouldn't be exploiting and keeping stuff from you and your company. They would be telling you, hey, this is a glaring issue, this needs to be fixed. And they don't do that. They don't, like, that's what a true friend would do. These people are literally taking advantage of your friendship. That's just, I'm sorry, but that's just facts. So yeah, ban hammers from the sky. Absolutely. I made a bet with Thor that this would get wiped early on. Honestly, look, and I know I've leveled to 15. I've really leveled my herbing to 25. Like, I've done a shit ton of herbing. I have a heroic sickle. It would suck if we were wiped, but again, my mind has been prepared for wiping because we're in testing. I think, again, when issues arise that are critical issues, and believe me, the critical issues of the Vaseline system not working at the start of Phase 2, I consider that to be a critical issue. I think Intrepid probably considered that to be a critical issue. There was a multitude of reasons why I think starting Phase 2 December 20th was a problem, was a big no-no. And I've already went over all that. But that being said, I think the perfect time, in my opinion, to wipe is whenever they introduce the rogue. Whenever rogue gets introduced, because there's a lot of people right now that are actually hoarding gear to trade to their rogue. So all I'm saying is, if you want accurate data for your Vaseline system and your node progression system, which is the entire focus of Phase 2, you need to wipe again. And also, the wipe would get rid of all of the freeholds that were bought in by these very competitive guilds. Some guilds have over 50 freeholds. And yes, you heard me correctly, 50, on Vira. How they got that much gold? But that's facts. So I think some of the guilds was done maliciously. I don't know how. I don't have proof. That's just my inkling, because to get 50 freeholds is very much an outlier in my opinion. So I think with those banhammers going out and with the excitement of the rogue archetype, it just makes sense on a multitude of reasons to wipe the servers clean and let us start fresh. And I know that's going to bump people out. I know that it might even cause people to not want to play because they've grinded and they've reached level 25 just for it to be wiped in February. But I'm sorry, you knew what you were signing up for. This is a testing environment. Things and wipes are going to occur depending on critical issues. So I'm sorry for all that rant. Let's keep watching.
Wanting to level their characters and getting involved with guilds and try all the new stuff that they said that's in this phase that's currently happening. And the leveling process is, grindy, right? And for some people, even daunting. So if you wipe it again, it just might lead to a whole plunder of issues where people are just not going to be thrilled with. So I kind of think right now at this current moment, this phase, because of all the exploitation and cheating that happened, is kind of cooked. That's just my personal opinion.
It's true.
Doesn't mean I hate the game, and I still will be playing it, but I just think a lot of stuff has already happened under the table, and it is what it is. You can't stop it at this point. So yeah, that's basically the situation going on with the exploitation and the cheating.
There's an ad right now, so I'm going to stop the video and wait for the ad to finish. I'm going to say it in chat for the people that aren't subbed. Let me see. YouTube is flooded with Ashes of Creation is a big scam. How I got scammed with Ashes of Creation. So you have to understand the YouTube game. Sensationalized titles and clickbait is extraordinarily effective. People hate it, but they still click on it. Trust me. People still click on all that kind of stuff. My personal opinion is people just want the drama clicks. Like I'm sorry, but I don't consider Ashes of Creation a scam. Not even 1%. I think it's very disingenuous to call this game a scam. If you literally want to see what a scam is, like honestly, like what video I really want to watch, because I think it would really benefit people to actually seeing what a scam is. You know what? Fuck it. We're going to watch that video after this. It's a great video. It has over 3.5 million views. It's by Cura TV. And we will watch what a true MMO scam is. No, it's not Star Citizen. It is Chronicles of Illyria. And Narc made a comparison to Chronicles of Illyria and Ashes of Creation, which I thought was very disingenuous. That was the most disingenuous comparison I've ever seen a person make. So... all right. We back, boys? We back. Okay. Let's keep watching.
And obviously they had their break during the holidays. They're human. I get it. Things are going to happen. You're not going to really have a lot of workers or hands on deck when a lot of people were like just basically going crazy during the holidays. A lot of issues were going on, and there was a lot of cheating going on too. But
a lot of cheating.
It's just, at this point, it is what it is situation.
The amount of video clips that I've got sent to me from people in my community, people I didn't even know of, people in my guild, was wild. Of people exploiting in Steel Bloom, in Carfin. The devs are aware of it, 100% aware of it. Are they going to pull the trigger the way we want to, like with permanent bans? Fingers crossed. And Steven hinted almost in his live streams. Especially the live stream yesterday that I think he did regarding bans. I really hope he because Steven has talked such a big game over the years, such a big game about this particular thing. And now you have to put your money where your mouth is, right? You got to put the actions in, not just the words anymore, because actions are required here. Let me see. The entire video was about his feelings and not so much about facts. Sad to see. Well, and again, it's when you're so emotionally connected to a project, which a lot of us are. But I think, when I had Jay yesterday in my chat, or the last time did I stream yesterday? days are like blurring together for me. I apologize. But, you know, I wasn't really arguing with Jay, but I was trying to see like where he was coming from, and I was trying to see like where people are coming from. And I understand where he was coming from. It took me a little bit, but I understand where he's coming from, because where a lot of people are coming from is they wanted 2 years ago when they did the freehold stuff to specifically say that this is not what you're going to get when we release it. But I feel like even then you couldn't have known. I don't think they couldn't have known how the freehold is going to release. Now, if you take it to where the roadmap was going to occur, or even this last live stream of certain systems that are going to be introduced in phase 2, Steven could have clarified even then further on certain systems and the state of where those systems are, right? And I think that to me is where people are kind of upset about. But to call that a scam, that's not a scam. Like, in my opinion, that's not a scam, like, at all. I think that's just a little bit of miscommunication and omitting certain things, because when you're omitting or not really telling us the full scope, we have to then imply ourselves from past data, from past information. Let me see. I responded to Jay's comment in Discord. Part of the reason I came here. Oh, okay. Let me see. Narc has never been relevant to me. His videos were always clickbait. Well, I think it's, personally, as much as I disagree with the dude, I think it was a shame that he let his emotions get the best of him, because having him in the space when he was actually making content for Ashes, even though like I wasn't watching his content anymore, a lot of people watch his content regarding Ashes of Creation. But I feel like he was getting so detached and so emotional that I think it was just good for him to take a break, because like I told you guys already, he did not quit. No one quits. I'm sorry. Like, he's going to make a YouTube video for Ashes of Creation. Maybe not now, maybe not next month, but he will make one again. You know, it's just, again, you got to understand the YouTube game and how it works.
And we just got to move on from it and continue seeing the positives as much as we're trying to find in Ashes of Creation, but at the same time realizing what's really going on. So let's talk about it. So at the current moment, when getting to the level I'm at right now, I'm around 19, working my way to 20. Obviously, I still haven't approached the Forge yet. I know people are going through the deserts, but I've been watching a lot of people play the game, some buds of mine who play the game as well, and seeing what they're really doing with the content, you know, at level 25, how crazy really is the content. I'm going to be honest with you, besides the Forge, there really isn't a lot going on, and that's just me being truthful with you. I'm not trying to, you know, beat around the bush. It's just the facts. Yeah, there's nothing going on. There's no progression, which they've said that is what their main focus on, and economy, you know, seeing how good the economy is, especially with the player stalls that they, you know, implemented this phase.
And again, even with having the freeholds, with all of the stuff, and even having the desert, as much as people thought of how expanded it was going to be, even if that was the case, what he just said would still be a valid concern, because that is, freeholds isn't going to provide everyone content. You have to buy a freehold with 100 gold and be a minimum of level 20. That's a hard thing to get for even guilds right now. So that's a hard thing. That's content many people, I would say probably over 95% of people, won't even experience the freehold content. Desert content, you have to be pretty much level 23 minimum. But even desert right now, if you're on virus server, dude, it's like a death sentence going to the desert right now anyway, because there's certain guilds that have that desert locked down and it's still considered to be a lawless zone. So what does it truly matter for content in that regard? You know what I mean? Like, it's, no, you can hang there at 16. No, I'm pretty sure you can, but I mean, the majority of the monsters are all in the level 20s and stuff like that. You would have, I think, a pretty bad time being at level 16, especially it being a lawless zone. But you understand what I'm trying to say. The content is still lacking, even if that was the case.
In particular, which I think is actually a W. I actually enjoy the player stalls. I do think they can use a better system of filtering, so we can find items a little bit more easier, because I think the way it's displayed is a little bit too much. If there's like 60 something pages, do you really want people to go through each page of each?
When you see don't go to the PvP zone, it's not all lawless, just a small part. Oh, really? Did they fix that? I haven't been to the desert in a bit. I actually haven't been to the desert at all since phase 2 started. So I thought the desert was completely lawless, but okay, cool. To be honest, phase 2 is not focused on content. It is focused on content. There's a lot of content that's going to be rolling out. I mean, Steven did mention this, but it's just not out at the start. And I think having the lack of certain bits of content not being there day one, I think was just disappointing for people. And then you had this long 2 weeks, you can play Ashes of Creation 24/7, and you just started to notice of how much of phase 1 this phase feels like, right? I think that was kind of the issue.
Individual storefront, and some storefronts are just empty. There's nothing on there. So I think there needs to be like an expiration period on storefronts if they're not actively putting items on there, and they need to do something with that system to make player stalls a little bit more easier searchable for items that you're trying to find. That's just my opinion though. But besides that, the freeholds, which is pretty cool, people are able to, you know, have access to like the freeholds and set places up in certain parts of the map, which I've noticed some places of the map they're putting them in, and it's like ruining some farms that were once good in like the earlier phase, and now they're just not as good anymore. So you kind of got to play around their freehold to like get access to other farms. So it is what it is. That's a minor situation. But
the whole farming system right now is just consisted of you throwing root balls, and even then you're getting common materials, and even if you do common weeping willow, you get oak from it. So there's a lot of issues. But again, getting context from Steven in his live stream yesterday, he was mentioning what data they were getting from the freehold system in general. And again, a lot of it was very fundamental, foundational things of what feedback they were getting from the freeholds. The you being a citizen, you being level 20, does when you purchase it for 100 gold, and what plot did you pick, did it work? Like all this shit is just so super rudimentary, but it's important. And I think a lot of people just think this is a game to play. it is like you can play a version of this test, but it's still a test.
Besides that, there's not really a lot going on in terms of content and what to do in phase 2. There really isn't nothing to keep the alpha tester engaged, is what I'm getting at. And that's a problem, because
which is true.
If you expect people to just test the forge out for the next 4 months and maybe test a couple mobs in, I guess, the desert or tropic area, I don't think that's going to hold players to keep them engaged as much as Steven is claiming that there's like...
I really wish he would have put the phase 2, like what's releasing in phase 2, because it's not just the dungeon. There's also the story arcs that are going to be releasing for the Riverlands. They're going to be expanding the desert biome with more stuff. There is content coming for phase 2. Now, is it as content heavy as, let's say, phase 3? Probably not, but phase 3, like if you consider what phase 3 is, you're basically going to be getting 15 biomes. You're getting like a number of really important systems. So it's, yes, considering if you consider what phase 2 and phase 3 are, phase 3 is just lumping the rest of the game in that phase, which is kind of unfair. So yes, phase 3 is going to have a shit ton more content. Naval, the Underrealm, the Tolnar, the Summoner. There's like more, all of the story arcs of all of the freaking 19 biomes. It's crazy. Like just all the content's gonna be coming out, which again, 2 to 3 years is a very optimistic, very coped out approach of when this game could launch. I think 3 to 4 years is probably more realistic, given that we need to give feedback on each of these systems, and some systems may work, some systems may not work. And what I mean by work and not work is they may work, but the players don't like it and needs to be changed to something that the players could actually agree on, of what is fun, or the system is not contrive or just shit, right? Like if we all said the marketplace, like, okay, this marketplace, this is it. This is the final version of the marketplace. We're good. People wouldn't be happy with that, right? So we have to give feedback on what needs to be improved with the marketplace. Intrepid has to go in, listen to that feedback, adjust the marketplace UI, or do that whole system in a way that is befitting to our feedback, that is something that we love and is something that they love as devs. And that iteration takes time. Multiply that by 58 other systems. So yeah, it's gonna be years.
100,000 plus people testing the game. I think there's gonna be a lot of player drop off, and just players gonna be waiting to phase 3 and say this game is just not worth it at the current time to level all the way up again to 25 for just no reason at all, because nothing has really changed through the 1 to 25 experience in terms of either more mob variety, more mob depth, or just actual different things to do at all. And I think one of the biggest problems, in my personal opinion, is the questing system is still lackluster. It's not good, and I understand that they don't want to make this game quest centric and focus too much on the quest, but the problem is that when there's really nothing else to do besides mom grind, you need to have some type of quests that are rememberable and enjoyable, or a cool
agree.
quest line to do and have a really cool item rewarded from it that is a good early level up style item. That's why
I think people are going to look more forward to these. I think the story arc system is going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, will hopefully be that. I think the quest that you're currently getting, which is like the onesie twosie, I consider those to be kind of like side quests, because the story arc system is going to show everyone the main story of Ashes of Creation. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that they're going to kind of omit story-wise because Steven doesn't want to spoil lore, but I think that's the kind of questing they're probably more concentrating on than these quests that you find out of nowhere, and it's like, hey, can you find this thing, or can you go to this person, or can you fetch me like 4 of these different things from 3 of these different mob types. Like, I think all of those are just side quests, and I think when you just look at a side quest, right, that's what they are. They're just something to kind of waste your time with, right? Most side quests to me aren't particularly that fun. They're just time wasters. That's what I've always gotten from side quests from any MMO personally. The problem is there hasn't been a mainstream social sandbox MMO for some years, and today's players just don't get. It's not a race to endgame. If you've never played UO or Star Wars Galaxies and only played WoW or some other theme park MMO, they won't like this. I think you are correct. There's a majority of people, even myself, I include myself in this, where I had to change my mindset so much. And then I also had to talk to people about, well, what is the, because a lot of the sandbox games are survival. I hate survival games. I am not a survival game Andy. I don't like those games. I have tried a number of them. They just aren't for me. I don't like those games. So when it comes to sandbox games, I didn't have that much experience with them. So, but I love classic World of Warcraft, right? I love that old school MMO design, and Ashes really speaks to that. The fact that traveling matters, the fact that it's very much slowed down, and you feel every level and that achievement in getting those levels. It all feels really good to that degree. But there's also this thing of instant gratification, this player convenience that a lot of the current theme park MMO Andys are used to, and Ashes doesn't have any of that shit. And then you also extrapolate that to a true alpha experience, which I don't think anyone in the MMO community has ever had a true alpha MMO experience, because again, that's usually closed off to the public, and only a handful of people really get to do that kind of content. And that also turns a lot of people off too, because I don't think a lot of people are equipped to test a game in this kind of magnitude for the extent of how long we're going to be doing this. So that's why I've always said having the right mindset, but also knowing when to take a break. There might be times where I'm going to tell you guys, I might make a video saying I quit Ashes of Creation for a month. I'm probably going to need to take a break too. I have a brand new baby coming into this world in July. You know what I mean? Like I won't have the time I have now, and even my time now is pretty limited because I still have a 1 year old, and so all that takes my time up, And I do Ashes of Creation, of course, as a hobby, as something that I would love to make this into like a career or a job or whatever, but realistically, like it's not, and because it's not, I have to still prioritize my family. I always want to say HK Donphonics, dude, thank you so much for the sub, dude. Really appreciate it. And TMA TMACD, thank you so much for the sub as well. I really appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Most people aren't cut out for alpha testing. No, not at all. Not at all. Star Wars Galaxies was the best part. Honestly, what always just T-Mac. All right, thank you, dude. Thank you, T-Mac. My boy Corey, who is Cortarian Slurp, he's one of the developers for Ashes of Creation, and more specifically, he works in the profession department. Like, he's one of the profession people. He is a huge Star Wars Galaxies nerd. Like, he's a Star Wars Galaxies Andy. I'm a WoW Andy. So the fact that he's crafting the profession system to be, I wouldn't say like a successor, but like very much inspired by Star Wars Galaxies is just so good.
I think what, you know, in WoW Classic did so great is that I remember quests from WoW Classic because those quests rewarded really cool mini items or something that was just really good for a level up process. In Ashes, they don't have that. And it's just continuous mob grinding of the same mobs we already tested in Phase 1 to Phase 2. And there's no other things to really do at those locations as well, besides just farming for XP or maybe a lucky drop. So I think that is a problem right now currently in Phase 2 that I didn't really see much people address, but I just want to talk to you guys about that now because I personally feel like they need to improve on that in order to keep the players truthfully locked in to want to test this game even further. I think the biggest problem that they're facing right now, in my personal opinion, is where to focus their assets on.
Dude, the Death Note poster, and I have my Death Note poster right here. Like, he's a weeb like me, Full Metal Alchemist. Mike, what is this? I was gonna say Mike Myers, but that's not Mike Myers. That's Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So definitely in good company with this dude.
I think they're very strong on putting their assets on the desert place, like the desert biome and the tropics, but I think they're doing it incorrectly in my personal opinion. I don't think that's where they should be focusing right now. I think there is a lot of things they need to improve on the 1 to 25 experience within just staying at the areas that everyone is going to, and the popular areas too, improving on these things as well in terms of, like, you know,
I agree with him, but I also disagree because they have over 200 developers, and I doubt that all of their content is being focused on just the desert or just the tropics. Like, there's multiple people working on still fleshing out the Riverlands, also working on the tropic stuff, also working on desert stuff. So like, again, you have to work very multifaceted in a game dev company, especially one like this, to just totally drop the desert and tropics and just fully focus on this. That's going to set them back time-wise a shit ton. Like, and again, time is your enemy in any kind of game dev.
Addressing more of the cheating and exploitation, and how they handle that, better in the future, how they will handle the lack and gaps of content between 1 to 25, so the experience doesn't always just, feel the same linear thing where we're just going to go mob grinding for hours on end.
See, to be honest, you can tell this guy has very little time in the game, if any. He's just making a video for clicks. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he said that he's been leveling till he's level 18 here. You can't get to level 18 playing the game very minimally, at least in my opinion. And again, many people don't have the, the game dev, information or data or like how it works or whatever, but he's just saying his opinions. Like, I don't think he's making it for clicks. I mean, honestly, any YouTuber makes a video for clicks. I don't want 2 people to view my YouTube videos. I try to make my videos entertaining and at least something that people can watch and digest and talk about. But I understand what you mean by clicks, right? They're just doing it just to, go into a community and hopefully get clicks. But I really don't think that's what he's doing.
And that's all we're doing. We have to improve on the questing as well. The questing is a whole system in place there that nobody really gives a shit about. We have to look at these things, and that's just 3 things, right? That's not talking about the clipping of player clipping through, like, the floor or going through the world that happened to me the other night, mob clipping, your player abilities clipping, corrupt baiting, which has been a situation I've been noticing as of lately as well.
All right, an ad's gonna run, guys, so I'm gonna pause the video real quick and just kind of waste time real quick. I'm sorry. These ads are just crazy. So I'm just gonna kind of waste time. But honestly, like I do agree with some of the things he has to say, and I really hope that he is putting in bug reports, because you know, people that come by like tears in the world or whatever, or stuff floating in the air, or things that are in the ground that you can't harvest because it's too much in the ground that it doesn't have the functionality for you to hit F. Like, please bug report all that. Like, please. Like, I've talked to you know, Planet, and I've talked to like some of the other developers, and you know, don't just assume that a bug report has been left there. Like, if you find that there's like holes in the world, or you know, things that just make the movement stuff, or in dungeons or wherever, like, again, I know you want to grind, I know you're doing stuff, but at the end of the day, you pay to be a tester. Like, put in those bug reports. That's like the best thing I can tell people. I think he's missing a little bit of the point in the process of world building. It is lots of steps on steps that build together, not just one part at a time. Yes, no, 100%. And that's what I mean. Like, I think he just, not many people have the knowledge of how a game dev operates, and how they're, you know, how a game dev company or a team distributes out content. But for him, a big focus is, I want better quests. And I think the quests that he's probably needing to have is the story arc system, and that is currently not in the game. I think the story arc system is going to be the quest that he's referring to, because the quests that are currently in the game, to me, aren't quests. Those are side quests. Those are just things to, and again, side quests are always meant to be very meh, you know, in regards. They're not meant to be memorable. Like, name me a side quest. Well, actually, I can, because there is a side quest in Final Fantasy 14, and it's fucking hilarious. It's with, oh my God, what's that dude's name? It's like probably one of the best side quests I've ever experienced in an MMO, but it's like a really funny side quest. If you have a decent group, you can hit 25 pretty quick. I think Thor did it in 3 days, maybe 4, but he did play 15 hours a day. Hildebrand, thank you, Vale. Dude, the Hildebrand side quest was fucking goated. That was awesome. Like, I loved that quest. I haven't cracked up so much in my life until I did the Hildebrand quest in Final Fantasy 14. And I think, again, they clearly put effort into that side quest, but traditionally side quests are what they are. They're side quests.
With players, they will do that to, you know, bait a corruption, which is like, I don't understand how they're not noticing some of these things. Maybe they haven't been getting these bug reports, if their bug report system is even working. But they claim that it is, obviously, because, you know, they have received a lot of reports. Besides that, though, and even just like, you know, filling in the gaps of, like, you know, the places that we already been to, like Steel Bloom, Highway Hills, Carfin, going to the Dernagal Estates, you know, and or Seth, right, going over there and just seeing what kind of new mob variety are they going to add there.
What up,
how much more
good to see you, buddy.
Exploration and content have they added within these areas that we're familiar with, that can feel like a new experience from phase 1 to phase 2, so we can see some, you know, new unique things happen at these spots. I think this is where the assets need to be focused on, and that's how you keep the players still engaged to test your game, rather than just saying, okay guys, regrind from 1 to 25 and then go explore out into the biomes that we've made and there's just nothing there. So I think that's really kind of a problem right now going on, and I hope they address these types of things sooner than later. All right, so this is where I'm going to be a little bit more harsh now. This is some harsh reality. Oh. Maybe people might get butthurt in the comments below. I hope you do. It doesn't really matter to me. Wow. So basically, what I'm getting at is that this game is far from ready. Like, super far from ready. Whoever's telling you this game is going to come out in a year and a half, they're being hopeful, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I do think Ashes is a fun game from a gameplay standpoint. I think it's actually been one of the most funnest gameplay experiences I've had in quite some time, because it's actually really fun. I've been playing more around with the PvP, playing...
Dude, this is actually very refreshing to hear from someone who's a classic WoW Andy. It really is. And I don't think... anybody from the Ashes community would be butthurt to say, oh, he said this game's not going to come out in a year. Bro, we all know it. We've been trying to tell people like you this. So the fact that you're getting that, good job. Good job.
You know, obviously the PvE, really good. But in terms of like it being ready, I don't think that's the truth. I don't know who's telling you it's gonna be ready in a year or so. If you're hearing that anywhere from any creator.
See, I think it's going to be a long road to A2. We have to keep in mind that we aren't trying to deliver an early access style experience or a game. It should and will continue to feel incomplete, unbalanced, janky for the next few months as we continue to iron things out. At some point in phase 3, the game feeling will come together in better focus. And it says still focusing on phase 2 and 3. We're still roads away from this game being complete. This is good that Steven is focusing on making a good game, but with us being honest here, this is just not a 1 or 2 year release just yet. 100%. This is really good.
That's kind of a lie. Now maybe they're, using that referral program and they're getting some good bucks from it. Much love to them. Hey, whatever pays the bills pays the bills. I ain't gonna hate you. But this game, in my opinion, is like 3-4 years out still. We might not see this till like probably 2028 ish.
Based
2027 if we're lucky.
Based.
If we're lucky. And I'm hoping I'm getting proved wrong. Please prove me wrong, because I want to play the fucking game. Like, I really do. But
hey, if there was a magic fairy that can go and give Steven a wish and Steven says, hey, can you just finish Ashes of Creation to the extent of where it is in my brain and make it a reality, I'd be the happiest fucking person in the world, and I'd be glad to make a video of how dead wrong I was on 3 to 4 years. I'd be the first one to make that video. But, trying to go back to reality for a second, that's not going to happen. So I think, again, 3 to 4 years is totally, and it should be a thing that we should work up to. And this is why I encourage taking breaks, whether that's a month break, 3 months, 6 months. Come back whenever you feel like the game, or there's an update. Maybe you go on Discord, maybe you follow their notifications and you say, I'm going to come back whenever this feature is available to play or whenever this thing happens, and do that. You know what I mean? Again, you spent either $120, $110, or even $250, $375, $500. Make the most out of that money. Don't make it feel like you wasted that money on nothing. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Hope for the best, expect the worst. This is the mindset I have to avoid being disappointed. Absolutely, dude.
At the rate of where they're going right now, just from this phase alone of what I'm seeing of just these minor inconveniences already off the rip, it's just not a good sign. It's not a good look, and I'm sure a lot of other people are turned off about this. And I'm just being frank with you. I'm never gonna lie to you guys to steer you the wrong way. And listen, maybe you love Ashes Creation so much that you want to sleep in bed with Ashes. You want to cuddle with it. I get it. You're on top of it. On its Spiadel. Settle down. But I'm not riding it that hard like you are. Okay, I'm just telling you from a basic perspective of playing the game through its entirety through last wipe. Now playing it through 19 and 20 now, and I'm still going to push forward with it and explore their other biomes and see what they have to offer, in the next couple months from here to May. And then, maybe another video will come out saying, hey, there's some cool stuff going on. But yeah, I'm not going to lie,
it really does make me feel good, because I know his core audience isn't Ashes, is not people like the people that are probably subscribed to him are classic WoW people. And for him to tell his community that this game is not ready yet is a good thing. It is a good thing. It sets expectations outside of this community, which not many content creators are doing. And I really respect him for doing that.
Pretty mid to me at the current state, and to be honest with you, there's just a lot of other games out there that are fun. There are fun games going on right now that people are enjoying, and I think people rather spend more of their time not just alpha testing something that they've already did in phase 1 and it's the exact same in phase 2. I think they rather wait to phase 3 where there might be more better quality coming out from Intrepid Studios, because I think right now it's just in a slow progression as of this current phase. That's my personal experience. And my personal belief when it comes to this phase in particular. I think phase 3 will be a better phase than phase 2, because the testing right now for P2 is just kind of whatever. It doesn't feel like it's worth the quality of staying invested in the testing. That's my personal opinion, but it is what it is. I'll leave it at that. Much love, amigos. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's not, super long. I don't know how long it was, because, we got to make a couple edits or two. So settle down, I'll kiss you. Then I'll spit on you. But that's about it. Have a little Poland Spring. Lock it in. Keep on keeping on. Enjoy the New Year's. This bottle is crackling right now. It's pissing me off. And as always, have a damn good one. One day I'm gonna spit out this water like Triple H on your bitch ass, editor, and then I'm gonna hit you with the pedigree. What's going on with my headset?
This is a great video. This is my first time ever watching this guy. I'm gonna link you guys the video. I don't know if he's on OnlyFans or if he's on Hardcore Classic or if maybe he's still playing Ashes of Creation. I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna sub to him. Just sub to him right now. See maybe if he comes out with more Ashes videos down the road. But this was a great video, in my opinion. I think this was actually a great video from someone that really isn't in the Ashes community at all. So, all right, let's get to,
this.
All right, guys. You guys ready to see what a scam looks like? Waste Case TV, dude, thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you. And welcome to the stream, dude. Welcome. We are about to watch a very infamous video. This is a kind of an old video. It was made 3 years ago. It has 5.6 million views. And it is literally a fucking amazing video. I think it is Nemesis. I think the lawsuit is still going on. It's still happening, like till this day, which is kind of wild. But I think people say the word scam without the true context of what a scam, especially what an MMO scam really is. And this video highlights it in a way that I could never in my own videos. So let's watch.
Is a story about a game that claimed to give players the freedom they wanted, freedom to live, freedom to die, hundreds of thousands of fans, 6 years of waiting, a game that to this day no one ever got to see or play. The question, did Chronicles of Valeria ever really exist? This story has a beginning, a middle, but we're still in the process of writing the end. So what really happened? July 27th, 2015, Soulbound Studios plans to bring meaning back to MMO life. These are the first words to be associated with the MMORPG known as Chronicles of Valeria. The very first article covering the brand new, exciting project that promised to change everything fans of the genre had come to expect in years gone by. A game that would have you living and dying.
And remember what you're seeing here. Remember pre-alpha footage. Remember what you are watching right now, okay?
Dying in a fantasy land where seemingly anything was possible. For many, it was literally a dream come true. So where did it all go wrong? Let's start at the beginning. April 28th, 2009, Kickstarter, a crowdfunding platform, launches. September 20th, 2009, the first, or at least the first instance I could find, of a crowdfunded video game. Fly Wrench was a project that asked the public for $5,000 to deliver a game about flying an aerobatic ship through space. The project included 0 videos, 0 screenshots, concept art, and the backer awards were extremely limited. The public's perception to Fly Wrench? 29 people said, you know what, here's some money for your game. Fly Wrench managed to get funded by the end date of November 1st, 2009, $5,070 raised. October 10th, 2012, the Game Developers Conference, Star Citizen is announced. Perhaps the most ambitious title ever presented, a multiplayer space trading and combat simulator on a scale beyond anything we had ever seen. And by October 18th, just 8 days after the announcement of the game existing, Star Citizen had begun raising funds for the first time. This was no Fly Wrench with just 2 paragraphs of words from a man who wanted to make a simple 2D game. This was the most successful crowdfunding game of all time. To date, Star Citizen has raised over $350 million, and the game,
that's fucking
no release in sight as of April 2021. September 18th, 2015, the first ever screenshot of Chronicles of Valeria would be shared on the company's Twitter timeline. At this time, the community is already beginning to grow. April 1st, 2016, the first ever gameplay footage is revealed as part of a video titled Meet the Team. The game started to receive more and more coverage as a legitimate project to be excited for. At this time, the stage was set and the man that
we will look at Star Citizen to see how much it's at now. This was what, 3 years ago? So yeah, it's probably way more than $350,000 or $350 million, excuse me.
That would be performing under the lights, introducing Jeremy Caspian Walsh, CEO and founder of Soulbound Studios. May 3rd, 2016, Soulbound Studios launches their long-awaited Kickstarter campaign, a modest goal of $900,000 to deliver on a project that promised a dynamic and immersive MMORPG where your character ages and dies in a fully destructible world with non-repeatable quests. To this day, Chronicles of Valeria was still a relatively obscure project, but the Kickstarter campaign helped put the game in a spotlight. June 1st, 2016, just before the Kickstarter ends, Jeremy Walsh announces a new tech partnership with, at the time, relatively unknown tech startup Improbable and their product Spatial OS. Spatial OS, in Jeremy's own words, will be the server technology that will allow us to support millions of entities in the world. June 3rd, 2016, Soulbound Studios had managed to not just hit their goal, but raise just shy of $1.4 million for the project, with 10,752 people giving the company anywhere from $5 at the lowest level of contribution to $10,000 for the King or Queen package at the top.
I get that, Nemesis. Like, I'm just saying, like, for what the reality was, what they showed, completely agree. The reality, completely different.
Level. Each package would allegedly come with an array of goodies to tempt in the potential backers, ranging from a wallpaper and access to the newsletter at the lowest end, and a literal kingdom to rule over in the game at the high end. For $10,000, you could own your own kingdom, and of course you're probably wondering if anyone would pay to be a king or a queen. They
Also
did.
True.
4 of them. The launch of the Kickstarter and subsequent financial success was received mostly positively, though some did have questions and concerns surrounding the project. At this point in the story, everything was going according to plan. In fact, it was going better than ever expected. The studio consisted of a 16-person team which claimed to have employees working for prestigious and competitive companies such as Microsoft Game Studios, Bungie and Sony Online Entertainment, and headed up by Jeremy Caspian Walsh. They would claim at this time to have the game in players' hands within 18 months. Sometime towards the end of the Kickstarter campaign, the page would be updated with the following message. Project funding will continue on our site, chroniclesofvaleria.com, after the Kickstarter ends, starting June 6th. We will offer the ability to upgrade your existing pledge, outright or through a layaway system, starting in 3 weeks when the Kickstarter pledges are integrated with COE forum accounts. When the website came up, it would feature a ticker which showed the exact dollar amount raised from the various products and perks sold on the website, and it would continue to tick by month after month as more fans of the genre.
The fact that I truly feel, because of what Chronicles did, Ashes didn't receive as much money as it should have because people got fucking burnt by this game. And I completely get it. I completely get it. But the fact that Ashes didn't even get to these numbers was astonishing to me. It's just wild.
Caught wind of Chronicles of Valeria and became enamored with the idea of this unbelievable journey they would soon embark upon. At this point of the story, we have to introduce a supporting character, Exola,
in NA.
a common payment services company in the gaming space, mostly used by developers to handle payment, billing, and marketing tools. Soulbound Studios would use the Exola service to raise funds via the Chronicles of Valeria website post Kickstarter campaign success. Exola would serve as the middleman between customers seeking to buy pre-purchased packages and other such items from Soulbound Studios. 27th of July 2017, just 1 year after the successful funding of Chronicles of Valeria and approaching the promised delivery date of a playable experience, Caspian would post one of his usual update blogs titled State of Valeria. With this came an admission of neglect in transparency with the community that had supported the dream to this stage. The game was not progressing at the speed they had promised. The inability to attract world-class engineers to build the dream was the stated reason for the delays. This news post would come with it a delayed timeline for when the backers could expect to finally get their hands on the game. To this day, updates were still frequent. There was new videos of systems in a working state, constant blog posts and interviews with the team, multiple hour-long roundtables with Caspian himself. But Alpha 1 would now be coming in the first 4 months of 2018. Skipping forward to January 12th, 2018, roughly when we would be expecting the first alpha stages of the game, 19 months after the project was successfully funded, bringing in more money than the project initially stated they would require, the game was still yet to be played by a single member of the public. At this time, the revolutionary tech solution that they'd announced as a partner was no longer a partner. Spatial OS, being the system that they had spoken so highly of and spent the last 19 months working with as a back-end solution, would be dropped from the technical stack of Chronicles of Valeria. The cost of this 19-month adventure, to this day, still unknown, but likely ate into the funds of the project considerably. And more worrying, the fact that they were already overdue on delivery, and questions would be asked by loyal backers. How could this happen so late in development? How much would this set back the plans? And most importantly, where is the game we were promised and that we paid for? Now, we're going to move forward quite a lot of time here. There's a large part of the story that we're going to skip. The reality is that during this time, they continued to post updates and placations to the community, but things had gone downhill drastically as the months ticked by. Funding continued to gradually increase throughout 2017 and 2018, but there was something in the air. The game was coming under considerably more and more flack.
You'll see. I think Kira talks about it.
Due to the missed deadlines, lack of communication, and of course, an increase in worrying crowdfunding events. The cracks were already beginning to show. The official channels for communication, the Discord, the forums, would become increasingly hostile, and more people were either being banned or removing themselves. The updates were less and less frequent, the features showcased were less substantial, and we had not seen almost any new gameplay footage in over 2 whole years, until one day, everything would change. September 6th, 2019. The first gameplay footage of Chronicles of Valeria seen for over 2 years, since October 30th, 2017.
Welcome to what a scam is. What in the fucking Nintendo DS is this shit? You literally go from seeing this, where are we at, 8:55? You see this, and then you literally get this. This is a fucking scam. The stuff you have seen is not reflected in what you actually got.
Disaster. The first video ever from Soulbound Studios to receive a negative like to dislike ratio since the announcing of the game. This would be the turning point in the story for most. Comments flooded in asking what was going on, why did the game look this way, 4 years into development and so overdue. Some users even going so far as to call it a scam and telling Soulbound Studios to ready their lawyers. At this stage of the story, Chronicles of Valeria was almost 2 years over the promised delivery date and 8 times over budget for what they originally quoted as being the cost for delivering this overly ambitious title. On December 24th, 2019, as a relatively new content creator, I posted a video claiming that Chronicles of Valeria would soon cease operations as a studio, and the game would subsequently be cancelled due to lack of funds. I came to this conclusion in a real simple way, from researching salaries and ground rent costs for the area Soulbound Studio chose to operate their development studio, Bellevue, Washington, a place where you would be paying top dollar for talent and office space. The ticker on the Chronicles of Valeria website by this point had slowed to a crawl, but it was a crawl to over $6 million, bringing the grand total, including Kickstarter money originally, to over $8 million. Using the information I had uncovered, I began to put the numbers together for running a game development studio in the area. I made the bold claim this studio would soon close unless they managed to raise a considerable amount of money in a very short period of time, or if they'd been hiding some private investment. 11th of March.
So just so you can see here, this was labeled Chronicles of Valeria pre-alpha. This is what players were seeing for a long time. This is what they thought they were going to play. This is what they thought was actually going to be delivered to them.
2020, the settlers of Illyria. The last step before Prelaria, which according to the development roadmap was the pre-alpha, the players would finally get to test the game. The game was finally in sight. One more step and pre-alpha would be in the players' hands. The Settlers of Illyria event would last for 45 days and allow the community to buy plots of land within the game world for between $65 and $1,350 each. 20th of March 2021, the post opens. Soulbound Studios has been hard at work on gameplay features and technology that will deliver Chronicles of Illyria to our backers and beyond. It's finally here. All the doubters were proven wrong. Pre-alpha was available to the backers, titled Trial of the Tested. This would turn out to be nothing more than a small obstacle course, something many developers claim to be able to put together in a matter of days or hours. The announcement post detailed the features: jumping, climbing, ziplining, and running. The post, of course, ended reminding us all that the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, was in effect. No one would be permitted to show footage of the gameplay, nor were they allowed to speak of the experience. Quote, more playable experiences are planned as we build up speed with our test cohort. Stay tuned for more exciting things throughout 2020. Was this finally the progress people had been waiting for? Was this signs of good things to come? March 25th, 2020, 1703 days or 55 months and 27 days since we learned of the existence of Soulbound Studios and their game Chronicles of Illyria. Just 14 days after asking for money from the backers again, only closing down the sales a few hours before making this post, Chronicles of Illyria was headed into the abyss. Buried in this post was the bombshell for the remaining true believers. The game was no longer being developed. The post claimed that CEO Jeremy Caspian Walsh had been forced to terminate all employees of the studio, and the project was now entering the abyss. The post...
Just super wild. There's an ad that's going to happen right about now. I'm going to go use the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'm going to play some music for my subs. Give me 1 second. All right. Be right back. All right, ad break ends in 35 seconds. Okay. So what do you guys think of the video so far? I just read the lawsuit was dismissed in 2022. Really? It was dismissed? That is wild. Whew. I haven't really looked up a lot of the Chronicles of Illyria stuff lately, but what's funny is that we actually do in the Ashes community have some people that were burned from Chronicles that ended up backing Ashes. So yeah, very much like, you know, I feel for those people because that's why I think a lot of skepticism, and this wasn't the only scam MMO that was coming around with the 2015, 2016 time. There was also Perfect World, which also was a Kickstarter MMO that ended up being a complete fucking scam too. And so I get very passionate when I hear, especially a person who's followed this game for as long as they had and have the goal to compare Chronicles of Valyria to Ashes of Creation. Like, that kind of set me off a little bit, because there isn't a correlation in my head, like, at all. I'm glad those people will get to see an actual game released. Yeah, in Washington State originally, it was filed in California. Yeah, I remember that. It was like, because that's where their dev studio was initially, was in Seattle, Washington. So
it had been ambiguous in that I didn't outright claim the game was fully cancelled. However, the CEO's Twitter account confirmed the studio would be shuttering. Almost everyone believed this to be the end of Chronicles of Valyria. The post also claimed that the development team, who had all been laid off during the pandemic, would be willing to work on the game in their spare time, perhaps to deliver a different game, taking features promised for Alpha 2 phases and giving the Kingdoms of Valyria to the backers instead. This news sent the community into a frenzy. The forums, the Discord, the Twitter account, the YouTube videos all came under fire from angry backers of the project. Despite vowing to leave open the Discord and forums to the community to preserve the history, at this stage Soulbound Studios, which was basically just Jeremy, Caspian Walsh alone, closed all forms of communication with the public. As this was happening, a new player was approaching. A Discord appeared, titled Class Action for COE, a Discord dedicated to one thing: to get restitution for the community that had funded this project to completion and been delivered nothing. April 9th, 2020, a letter from Jeremy to the public, correcting a misunderstanding. It was never his intention to end the development of the game. They would still be working on Chronicles of Valyria. Many would question, with what money? Who is they? And perhaps more importantly, was the game ever real? April 28, 2020, a list of questions had been put together by the Washington State Attorney General's office and shortly after appeared on the Chronicles of Valyria website in the form.
So from what I heard, because Kira's done a lot of videos for Chronicles of Valyria, a lot of the developers that Caspian ended up hiring were working for free. They were promised, like, oh yeah, like, we put all your information. They got information from employees, but then, like, whenever they thought their check was coming in, it didn't come in. And then they would go to Caspian and be like, hey, I thought today was payday. Like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, I think there was like a huge issue, like with the payment system, or he would just start telling his own employees, like basically BS, like all this stuff. Caspian made sure he got his paycheck though. Oh, 100%. And this is what another reason of the kind of internal turmoil that also occurred with the devs that he did hire to try to make Chronicles of Valyria. But even then, the developers ended up coming out that ended up like talking about their time in development, that there was no game. Like, all Caspian was trying to do to see, like, what can we do to make it look like we have a game. And a lot of the devs were like, but aren't we going to make it? Like, you know, what engine are we going to use? Like, what's this? And it's really sad. It's really fucking sad.
Of an FAQ, said to be updating backers on what to expect, where the money had been spent, and what the future would hold. Development would continue. Chronicles of Valyria would be delivered as advertised to backers. And then, silence. Outside of a small blog post on June 26th, nothing was happening. The blog post raised more questions than answered, talking about transparency, restoring the forums in a read-only state, and the assuring of backers that the parkour demo was just a demo and not a replacement for the game they had promised. A game nobody had seen. 17th of August 2020, movement in the class action lawsuit Discord. Some backers had hired lawyers and the ball had started to roll. But the surprise here, Soulbound Studios would not be alone. There was an additional target in the crosshairs. Exola, our supporting character from earlier. The letter to both companies alleged the use of unlawful, unfair, and fraudulent practices to raise money for a product they knew they could not deliver. The letter demanded refunds be issued to all those who would request, and we wouldn't have to wait long for the next development. Both companies would respond, or at least their legal teams would. The letters are dense in legalese, but both of them are uniform in their reply. Our clients did no wrongdoings. Our clients will not comply with your demands. And so they were at an impasse, neither side willing to budge. The only solution, settle it in court, a costly and time-consuming undertaking. 3rd of February 2021, legal papers are filed with a district court, everything was now in motion. All that was left to do was wait. Around the middle of December 2020, Chronicles of Valyria started seeing regular news post updates, usually twice per month, with videos of CEO Jeremy Caspian Walsh explaining the game's situation. Videos that mostly raised more questions than they answered, and provided no additional insight as to the true state of the game. Almost all remaining believers in the project had abandoned them. They dare not even enable comments on their video blog updates, not even the like and dislike buttons were enabled. Until today, the 1st of April 2021, when I'm recording this video, not a single soul outside of Soulbound Studios has played Chronicles of Valyria or could attest to the authenticity of the project. No one ever played this game. The recent communication out of the studio focuses almost entirely on the game they're calling Kingdoms of Valyria, and many would be waiting patiently for the legal proceedings for clarity. The prevailing sentiment being that if Jeremy wouldn't share with us the real situation, perhaps they could force him to in court. This is the Chronicles of Valyria until today, a story that is by no means finished, but one that is spanning so many years without a single comprehensive overview. I hope that you enjoyed this video, as it took an incredibly long time to make and edit, something I've never done before. I've never made a video like this. If it's something you enjoyed and would like to see again, please share the video around, leave me a comment, hit the thumbs up. All of this truly helps a great deal in getting the video working in the algorithm. Check out my socials in the video description: Discord, Twitch, Patreon, and as always, stay safe out there. We out. Peace.
So there you have it, guys. You wanted to know what a scam is? There is your scam. Give it a like. You know, Kira has, if you want to go and, you know, if this video intrigued you, there's actually way more videos. This was kind of like the first video in the whole rabbit hole that is Chronicles of Valyria, and it's wild. It's a wild ass story. But yeah, so you have to understand why I get as passionate as I do about, you know, when someone would say that this is a scam and then starts comparing Ashes of Creation to the likes of Chronicles, just pisses me off. It just does. Because what we've gotten from Ashes is a direct one-to-one. Like whenever, you know, I go, see, where's my chat box? There I am. I can go and look at any of the video footage of any of the live streams, and this is exactly the Riverlands that we've come to know. This is the models we've come to know. This is the abilities that we've seen. Everything is a one-to-one. Like how can you call what you're seeing here as a scam? It's just stupid. I understand that there's bigger issues here, and you know, people aren't the more rational people aren't calling this game a scam. What they're basically referring is how Steven didn't directly say that what you're, you know, the desert preview, the freehold preview, like that's stuff that you're not going to experience when the system launches. But my whole thing with that is that how are they supposed to know like 2 years ago? Like that was my thing. And I think there was a lot of stuff that they knew was so interconnected, and again, you know, Steven could have provided better context during the roadmap or during the most recent live stream. Like I get that, and if you want to be mad at Steven for not directly verbatim saying that this particular system, you know, isn't going to be online the way you remember seeing it in our preview, fine, cool. Like I get that. I totally understand where you're coming from. To me, I'm not as bent out of shape about that because I kind of already knew. But for the people that were completely, you know, ignorant to the live streams or ignorant to, you know, there we go. Completely ignorant to those facts, you know, I get that. But my thing is that that's not really your issue. Your real issue is this game is not as further along as you wanted it to be. That's your real issue. Let me see. The man is not perfect, but he is not trying to swindle your money at the end. Well, that's what I mean. Like, you know, and again, the the amount of times like Chronicles was asking people for money with nothing to deliver on is just kind of wild to me, that people ended up still giving them money. But if you look at the progress of Ashes, it's a completely different experience, you know? Like I don't know how else to really say it to people. It's not the same at all. Let me see. Here, give me 1 second. I hear my baby crying. Give me 1 second. I fucking hate teething. I hate it. When your child is unconsolable because you know there's something you can't hold them to make them feel better, it's the shittiest feeling as a parent. Let me see. What do you think about them nerfing XP gains by 9% today instead of focusing on other bugs and issues? Nerfing XP gains by 9%. XP gains as far as what? Like just player XP gains, or what do you mean? The team is still on vacation till the 6th, so nothing significant will happen until after. But why did they nerf it? Where did they nerf XP gains? Spicily done. Thank you so much for the sub, dude. Thank you. Welcome to the stream, man. Leveling isn't exactly fast right now. I don't know where you saw that. Can you give me, like, was it in Discord that they said that they nerfed experience gains by 9%? Because I'm looking on their Alpha 2 news and I did not see anything that says that. Let me see. Scalbers. How many times has Ashes asked for money Kickstarter and alpha keys? Yeah, and how many times did they have gameplay for people to watch and see, like, every month? Like, again, if you compare it to Chronicles, where they went almost 2 years with nothing to show, no gameplay footage, nothing new, and yet they were still asking for money, rather than what Intrepid was doing and actually showing you the progression of their systems. That was what people were playing, that they actually went to PAX East, to PAX West with playable demos of their game. Like, of course, like any startup company is going to ask you for money, but there is a big difference in what Chronicles did compared to what Ashes did. I don't know, man. I don't see what you're referring to as far as the XP nerf. If they did do that, I think that'd be very weird for them to do right now. But I don't see anything from them themselves saying that they've done that. So oh wow, is that a person that just rezzed right there? Wild. I don't even know what bags I got. So what am I, a lumberjacker? Forgot what I even was in this tune. Lumberjack and a miner. Why is it not? Can't even right click on that. Let me see. I tested it in XP gains from Kilmore. So just let me try and find it. Yeah, let me see if you can find it. I mean, I think if they are going to reduce experience gains, I think it is a little wild personally. I thought experience felt a little fine, but then they could also be trying to balance the you know, the whole 100 hours it takes to go from 1 to 25, which or did Steven say 100 or did Steven say 250? Am I misremembering? You see, I tested in XP games for mobs were reduced. I mean, not saying that I don't think your math is right or whatever, but I think if they were to do something that significant, I think Steven would probably mention that, hey, I did some stuff, you know? And of course, when I'm not on my Ranger, I find a moon bell. Of course. But I don't know. Either way, a scam is a scam. Ashes is not a scam. And I think, again, like we're always expecting Intrepid or Steven to be like perfect, that everything they do, everything that they put out to the community is perfect messaging, perfect communication, perfect marketing, perfect like everything. And as soon as anything were to happen that's like a fumble, or whether it's like a miscommunication or, you know, just anything, like we want to crucify Steven. It's like, bro, these people are human, man. They're gonna make mistakes. Like, they're gonna continue to make mistakes because they're human. So I don't know. It's like I said yesterday, like if people are truly worried about this project, they can go and watch Pirate Software and have Pirate Software educate them on this project and educate them about game dev and what it takes to make a game. And if anybody would be worried, it would be someone like him if the project was like illegitimate, or it wasn't happening the way you know, another game dev does their shit. So I don't know. I don't think anything's really going to satisfy people, to be honest. I think people are just wanting the game as soon as possible, and because they know that this is not going to happen as fast as they want it to, they're going to just complain, you know? Like, that's just what it is. Let me see, basically one fumble and the haters go after it as if they committed a grave sin. Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's just, you know, and I think because people we're in this honeymoon phase in phase 1 that it, you know, now that that's sort of wearing off, now we're willing to talk shit because now we're unsatisfied or we're not as happy or whatever the case is, right? It's like anything else, right? You need a scapegoat. And the scapegoat is the desert. The scapegoat is freeholds. But is that truly what you guys are upset about? I don't think so. I don't think that's what the real reason why people are upset. And I think it's, again, very disingenuous to believe otherwise. It's okay to take a step back and let Intrepid cook. This is what I am doing. There will be plenty of content to go through. 2025 will be transformative for Intrepid. I think this A2 will look very different this summer. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that's we're going to look back to this gameplay or like what we're doing in 6 months. And this is what I even said in December. I said, guys, can you imagine 52 weeks of updates from Intrepid? The one thing I don't think anybody can fault them for is how good of communication they've been during phase 1. So what are we truly saying here? You know what I mean? I understand that if you're one of those people that thought this game was going to release in 2026, that you might be a little bit disappointed at the cadence of new content, of new things to do. And that's very alarming to you because you're an MMO player that is sick and tired of playing World of Warcraft, ESO, BDO, insert whatever MMO here. I get that. But at the end of the day, if you truly want a good game, you got to let them cook. Like, it's just what it is. Like, let them do their job. Dang, are people still all grinding here? Would have thought people would have... Damn, God, the fighter's just so good. I miss the fighter so much. I've been playing the ranger for too long and I'm just like, oh God. Oh look, dead bodies. Oh wow, multiple dead bodies. What you got? Oh. Ah. Oh, that's a polar, dude. It's a level 25. Why would a level 25 be here? Is he just protecting his friends? Oh, damn it. You see, it's sad to see some people are just ignoring Power Software's message and just listen to the opinions like Blue Squadron or Narc. Since a popular streamer doesn't align to my opinion, then you are a shill. I think people will always tend to gravitate towards people that always share their opinion. And even if you are a big streamer with like millions of people, whether you have the experience, behind your belt, like Pirate does, by being in game dev for as long as he has. I don't like you because you're not saying the opinions that I am saying. And I would rather follow this other person that has way less of a following because he agrees with me. And it's sad that we're at that point. It's sad that people are just lackadaisically just trying to, an opinion is one thing, but then there's also like fact and like facts and lies. And people love to live within a lie because that's their opinion. The lie is their opinion. And that's just the reality we live in 2025 now. People would rather live in a world of lies to appease their own ego and appease their own sense of what I believe is right and wrong than just to kind of hear what the truth is, you know? But people don't like the truth. The truth hurts. The truth, what the? Oh, I was like, what is that? I really hope that spider event does not spawn, because let me see. I know there's another area that I could be at instead of this area here that could actually get me more experience. Because I feel like this is just such a popular area that it's just always being farmed. See, I feel like there's this area up here in Corlock. Bears and HH with the party is good. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I don't know if I want to get into a party right now. Yeah, Highwayman Hills is super, like, always overpopulated. I'm gonna head up right here because I know that there's shamans and there's goblins that are like level 7, level 8. So I think I'm gonna head over there instead because not many people know about that area comparatively to like the Nickabrae Ruins and Highwayman Hills. But yeah, no, I appreciate you guys watching me and stuff like that. I feel like I was actually watching a YouTube video on how to be a better streamer because I feel like whenever I am playing Ashes, I get too into my gameplay, and again, you want to watch Ashes, like you just play it yourself, right? If you're watching me, it's because you want me to be talking, you want me to be, you know, engaged with you guys, and I feel like my engagement whenever I'm playing a game is very weak, and I need to be able to communicate even when people are chilling, there's no chat happening or there's not a topic of discussion happening. Like, I need to be able to keep the messaging and the conversation going regardless, you know? So it's something I'm working on. It's something that I need to get better at. You see, I like killing frogs at lakes in Eastern Jova. Not a lot of people. As long as you can get one cleric and another DPS, you'll level very quick. Really? I've heard about the frog farm. Actually, I experienced a little bit of the frog farm whenever I was leveling on my ranger with Axiom. And then we were actually doing, what was it? East side of Ursine Caverns or Ursine Caves. And we were killing like the bears and the minotaurs there. That was really good. That's understandable, good sir. I would have done the same to any game I'm focused on. Yeah, well, it's like, because Ashes always just has me sort of like locked in, you know? And I have never talked when I'm playing a game that I'm like trying to enjoy and trying to, you know, look around and everything like that, but it's a muscle. You know, the video I was watching, you know, is whatever game you want to stream, you have to get good at making the gameplay secondary to your chat. That was the big messaging, and I definitely agree with that, because if I'm tuning into, you know, Asmongold or whatever big streamer, they are very good at not letting the game distract them to what chat is saying or what chat is doing. Now there's sometimes where, oh, that's a flare. There's sometimes where you can't do that, right? Like and I think chat is aware, right? When there's nothing really crazy going on, they want you to, you know, right now there's nothing crazy going on. I'm just right into the next grind spot. Let me see. Yeah, they have not posted anything official about the XP change, but we have confirmed the difference. For instance, I used to get 20,000 per kill on 3-star level 25 invokers at GP. Now I get 18,500. Other people in the guild have also tested it. That's interesting. And this change or this particular thing happened today? Like that wasn't the case yesterday, but it is the case today? Like, is that what we're saying? Okay, so that one's bugged. What about this one? I mean, I have heard people say that they feel like the leveling experience is actually a little bit too fast. And again, when Steven said the whole, I think it was 100 hours to level 25, like in what context is that, right? Is it 100 hours in the context of you leveling the most efficiently possible is 100 hours? And if you're doing it the most inefficiently, it might be 150 to 200 hours, right? It might be either half, like almost double the time because you're doing it inefficiently. Sounds like you should use the /bug report for. Well, that's what I mean, right? Like if it's something that they hadn't posted and you have like a discrepancy with XP reduction, like put a bug in. Yes, it changed after the server reset last night. Well, like I said, listen to Fupo, put in a bug report, be like, hey, I was killing mobs and this was the XP I was getting, and with all the same parameters, the same, I'm not getting that experience gain anymore. So it's like a negative net 9%. And that could be something that is unintentional. Oh. So yeah, if your guild is replicating it and you're replicating it, like, there is a much more larger gap than 100% between the best and the middle class XP farmers. No, for sure. And I think that's the conversation, right? Where is that 100-hour mark? Is it in the most efficient or the most inefficient? You should still get there, at 100 hours, Like that's the real question. But I mean, let's just be honest too, right? When it comes to XP, I've always had this feeling that they were going to adjust shit. I always had a feeling they were going to adjust XP gain throughout this entire alpha. Let's see. We will see changes to XP and things like that. A lot, of course. Now, we definitely will. I mean, me personally, I think as long as the leveling, this is just my opinion. I know a lot of people got excited when Steven set the whole 100 hours, just to level from 1 to 25. I personally just want the leveling experience to feel I've earned each level. And with how it currently is, I feel that. I think the leveling for a lot of people has felt really good. The cadence of it, the feel of it, I think it's felt good. And you're never, and especially when you start catering to this very tippy top denominator of the people that are just super mathified with if we go to this area, we'll get the most amount of XP, then we shift gears, go over here, and we can level from 1 to 25 in, let's say, 50 hours. Who cares? Oh, ads? Shit. See, I hope that leveling is not like the playtest. That is, in my opinion, what killed WoW clones in the mid-2000s, because they thought simply level grinding by mass mob killing was fun and classic. The quests of classic WoW killed the monotony of leveling. So, but I think it went too far in that direction, right? Because now you just did the monotony of doing quests. So you basically traded the mob grind to then quest grind, right? And is that good? Welcome back. I hadn't really said too much, and I think the quest grind is fucking boring, and most people can probably say too that the mob grind is fucking boring. But I want there to be just multiple avenues. Like, that's kind of like where my mindset is. I want there to be multiple avenues. Oh, the name mob is there. Oh. That guy borked. Oh, he's just not coming my way. Basically, I'm in for a balance of both. I don't want to have one of those options be the only way to level. No, that's my thing too, Nemesis. I don't... Like, when I said in my profession video that I think having a mixture of both, the random nodes for mining, like it's just a grab bag, like it's a rock, you have no idea what it's going to be in there, it could be any of the materials potentially, and then also having the materials that you can see out there, right, like halcyon, copper, tin, whatever. I think having a mixture of the two forms of mining is good. Having one mine that's completely RNG based, it's a grab bag of bullshit, you know, that could be really fun for people. But it's also really nice to know I can see something, I see what it is, and I need that thing. I see that thing, I don't need it, I can skip it. But when you only have one, it can go sideways very quickly. You know what I mean? Winky said he got an entire level mining, so there's also gathering as well. Well, that's what I mean too. I personally think gathering needs to be a little bit more. I think there needs to be a bump in experience personally for gathering. I'm not saying by too much, but I'm saying where the XP, like how much XP you get from it, I think needs to be up by at least 15%, in my opinion. I hate these poison bitches. Yeah, agreed about crafting and experience. 100%. I think it's a balance, right? I think going through quest hell feels like a chore and directs you too much, but the feeling of running into a new location, getting some quests that present the world in a narrative and guides you to a place and rewards you for going further into the cave to take that turn into a dungeon that isn't the direction to the boss, in my opinion, is how you approach quests at a very fundamental level. Well, and I think you're basically describing what I hope to be the story arc system for Ashes, right? Which we have not even experienced yet. So I think there's a lot of stuff that, you know, and it's good to talk about these things. It's good to get the context from the community, right? Because you have people like Fupo, you have like, whether it's developers or whether it's Steven himself that watches streams, my stream, Roar's stream, Jamie's stream, whatever, right? But they're constantly getting the feelings and wants and desires of the community. So I think it's good that a lot of people, you know, talk about the things they're looking forward to, or the things that they are fearful that might not be a part of the game or the systems. Let me see. Totally agree with that about quest design. Lead me to a new place that is good for my level, and then grind me some mobs and boss, and then move on to the next area. Well, and I think that's the thing about mob grinding, because I am not a fan of 100% mob grinding, because I'm not a fan of 100% anything. I don't want to do 100% mob grinding. I don't want to do 100% questing, but I want to have like a mixture, right? Like a variety bag of things that I can do. That's why I like the event system, the world event system. That's why I like caravans. That's why I like all of the different things that in this game could potentially make you squirrel, make you just go, oh yeah, I can do that right now, or it takes me off of the path of monotony, right? That's what this game needs, is because any game will set you on a path of monotony, and a good game, fuck, I didn't see that other one right there. And a good game will you know, make you feel like it's not that. What the heck? Sorry, I'm just locked in for a little bit. Oh. I was like, what the hell is he doing? Let me see. Oh, right. The story arc part is planned to be what Linux says, and we shall see how they implement it. Well, that's what I mean, right? Like, I like the idea of you naturally going from one biome to another because the story kind of leads you there, right? Like, I like that idea. I don't, because it's kind of weird to me that you can level from 1 to 25 in just the Riverlands. And it's almost designed to be that way. There's only 50 levels in Ashes of Creation. There's 19 biomes. Is the direction or is the mindset from the developers for you to level in a zone or two, like from 1 to 50, right? If you can go from, you know, levels 1 to 25, if there is a tier 6 metropolis in a zone, can you technically go from 1 to 50 in just that one zone? Like, that's kind of wild in my mind. I don't know. Like, those are the things that I kind of ask myself, that I think about, and I don't know if that's an option for a person. Cool, but is that the way it's supposed to be done? That's what I kind of look at, kind of with scared eyes, and I hope not, you know, because this world is so gigantic, it is so massive, and you should be able to experience the majority of it and traveling to different places because of storylines, because of events, because of world bosses, because of a number of things. And I just don't want it to feel, oh shit, guys, this is a heroic pile. Oh, damn. Should I? Wait, who's Wiggly? I don't know this person. I mean, it's granite at the end of the day. Take it and run. I mean, it's heroic granite, but I mean, I'm level 7. I'm just not going to take it. I don't really think it's worth it. In my opinion, I don't think it's worth it. I'll put this there. I didn't even notice that there was someone even dead there. I was like, what the heck? It will not decay it will decay if you do not, but your soul shall be stained forever. No, exactly. I don't know. I look at to see like what I can get. If there's something worthwhile, like I'll get it, but I'm just not going to get it because I can, you know. If that person is running back to its body, like, let him take his shit back, you know. I am not the PvP hardcore griefer person that's just going to steal everybody's shit. Like, I've always said, if you've watched me for any amount of time, I've always kind of wanted to be like the good guy on the server, you know, like someone that, you know, whenever you see me, it's like I'm more of a hero than I am a villain. Oh, come on. Let me see. I doubt that there will be that will be the case. I think they only did that so people could get to max level for testing, since this is the only 2 zones to test. Yeah, and you might be right about that, but my mind always goes to like just different, you know, different rabbit holes of information, and like, is this supposed to be intended? Is this not the intended route? You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of think to myself about all that stuff and hoping that that's not the case, right? There's a massive world out there. We should experience it. I think that to make every zone being able to be level 50. If not, why would anyone live in a zone without with low level mobs only? No, for sure. But you have to understand too, the node system will level like, that's why I said with a tier 6 metropolis in a zone, that's going to give and open up certain bits of content for level 50s, right? They're not getting rid, oh look, there's Waylay. They're not getting rid of low level mobs. They're just adding more higher end mobs, right? This is why you can find mobs in the Riverlands that range anywhere from 1 to 25. So I think whenever there's a level 4 node, you could potentially, oh shit. Damn. Whew. That was fucking close. Let me see. Soggy Bath Towel, dude. Thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see. A metro opening up, say a dungeon, would not necessarily mean it has to be right beside that node, but maybe in the area of control of the metro and vassals. Just my thought on how it makes sense. Yeah, that's kind of like how I thought it would also happen as well, right? It's affecting the biome, not just the area of where the metropolis is in correlation to like its vassals or whatever. I think it's more of a biome thing than it is just a node thing. So if you want to travel to see stuff, just be will that just be a separate adventure for fun? Potentially, but I kind of want it to, you know, I want the game to kind of force you to go to other biomes, right? To experience other storylines, to see other races, right? I would be very hard pressed to believe that the story arc system is just going to take you to your own biome and that's where the stories are, right? Like, I kind of would love if the story arc had like, there's like chapters to do in each biome, right? And it tells the story of the Riverlands and then you can go to like the story of the Denskill Mountains, and there's like 8 chapters in that area for story arcs, and you kind of learn the history of that biome, and it's like each biome has its own set of history, the problems, the issues, the villains, you know, whatever the case is, right? That's how I kind of envision the story arc system personally. But I mean, again, I could be wrong in how I'm interpreting the story arc system. Ooh, so we got a flare, and we got all these 1 stars. There we go. Let me see, I guess, I guess they could connect the quest of all higher level nodes to send you across the world. Well, it's not seen across the world, right? But there's just certain, I'm sure there's going to be certain story correlations that happened in the Riverlands that also affects like the Badlands, or that affects the Sandskull Desert, right? I mean, there has to be stories that intersect biomes, or even intersect races, right? Because each race kind of belongs to the biome, right? There could be something about the Valoon that also affected the Aelins, right? Oh. Wow. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see like how the stories and how all that kind of transpires. I'm very much looking forward to it. I think a lot of the WoW people, a lot of the people that are very much used to questing, I really hope that the story arc system provides at least like the WoW crowd, right? Because the WoW crowd is so huge. Something to kind of sink their teeth into that feels, as good as like classic WoW's quests, which I personally don't think that classic WoW's quests were like the best ever. Personally, I think there's a little bit too much nostalgia for people to cope down the WoW stuff. I think a lot of the classic WoW quests are really boring, and I think some of them are really fucking good. But I don't consider WoW's or classic World of Warcraft's quest design to be particularly like the best I've ever experienced. I think that either has to go to Final Fantasy 14 or SWTOR, and even both of those games have its issues too. The one thing I love about Final Fantasy 14 is its epic storytelling, but the one thing that Final Fantasy 14 utterly fails at, in my opinion, is combat. The early questing for Final Fantasy 14 without the expansions, you're literally doing hardly any fucking combat. You're killing like maybe like 3 mobs, and the rest is just you standing there listening to a story. So if you are not engaged in the story and you're really wanting to push buttons on your class to like kill shit, Final Fantasy 14 is not for you in that regard. You see, Final Fantasy 14 overall story is epic, is more of a guided storybook game, in my opinion. No, absolutely. And SWTOR is sort of that as well. But I really dug more the way you quested SWTOR, because you actually did have to go and kill shit, and combat was also as important as the narrative, which I thought was really good. That's what I thought Final Fantasy 14 just lacked in entirely, and it got better with expansions. They learned from their early mistakes with questing and implemented more combat stuff for you to experience. Let me see. I think if you want to quest to max level or grind to max level, both options should be viable. No, for sure. There's some people that really love mob grind. There's some people that really love quest grind. But for someone like me, I need a variety, man. I need to break shit up. I can't just barrel in. And if I do, like, I have to do something different, right? And that's why even in classic WoW back in the day, it took me like 3 months to level from 1 to 70. Like, and this was back in 2007, whenever Burning Crusade was out. Because I get very burnt out with doing the same shit over and over and over and over again. So I got to change it up every once in a while. I'm the same way. Yeah, I just, and again, I understand that there's people who really love the one aspect of it, right? They love to just be at a certain area, get 5 levels, earn gear, bullshit with their buddies and stuff like that. And I like it too. Like I did it phase 1. I have proof. You can go watch my streams and shit like that. I was chatting with Roar and Richie and everything like that, and it was a good time. But I don't like that as my only option all the time. Like, that shit gets really old really fast, and especially if we're years away, like, you have to break up gameplay. That's why I really want these professions fleshed out, because, dude, I really do actually enjoy the gathering in this game. I really do. I kind of take it as almost like you are 5% away from becoming as good as New World Gathering, or if not better. And maybe people that play New World can agree with me, maybe people who play New World might disagree with me, but the fact that we're even having a discussion right now that the gathering in this game is even on par with one of the best gathering games out there is saying much in my head. Let me see that's what I loved about RuneScape. And go out, grind out XP if you want to, or go do something fun, silly quest that can give rewards. Absolutely. Like, you got to change it up, man. Like, you got to have, and this is where I think some of the side quests fail on. If you're going to have side quests that are, and this is something I've left this feedback and I've said this many times. If you as a dev are creating one-time quests, meaning these aren't going to be repeatable, you do them one time, and once you've done it on that character, you can't do them again. Give fun rewards. Think of something that's unique, a unique reward. And it doesn't have to be gear. I'm not talking gear. I'm talking like a 5-minute buff that you get that lets you do something fucking wacky, right? Give like a temporary item that has like a couple of uses on them and then it goes away. Like, think of stuff outside of the box to make certain things attractive, you know? And I'm all for breaking the game in small ways like that. That's like, hey, I have 100% movement speed for 15 seconds, but I only can do it twice. And once I do it twice, that item is gone forever. Like, who cares? You know, let them break the game like that. You know, a fun title. Absolutely. You can do titles. You can do fun little trinkets or items, like one or 3-time use items or something like that. You use it 3 times and it's done forever. And you can't trade it to other people. It's only yours. Like, I think as a dev, many developers, when it comes to making games, especially when it comes to questing, all you reward is the same bullshit. Gold and XP. Gold and XP. It's like, I am not going to do side quests for fucking gold and XP. I'm not. Like, I'm not going to do it for a lore master title. I'm not going to engage because I'm going to get that wherever the fuck I go. But if there's something unique about your quest line, if there's something that's going to make me, ooh, that would be a fun thing to get, I might try your quest, right? And I think looking at it from that approach, I get more excited than just the rudimentary, oh, we're going to give you experience and here's some gold. Like, who fucking cares, man? Like, I don't care for that at all. Let me see. I think the next thing I should get is probably Whirlwind. When I hit level 8. That was easier than just doing melee. Oh my god, look at this dude. Royer, my pal. My brother for another mother, dude. Thank you so much for the raid, dude. Always appreciated. Roar sent us. Well, I'm glad he did, dude. I'm glad he did. Welcome, welcome. We're just here, we're chilling, man. We watched some videos earlier. We good. Let me see. What's up, Roar? Let me see. Star Wars Galaxies did that amazing, and Quest gave an item you can put in your house and put on a vendor in there. People would seek it out and then all see the cool stuff you collected from questing. Dude, that's awesome. And that's what I mean. Like, I think Star Wars Galaxies did a lot of things right back then. And it's just a matter of, you know, the devs being conscious of what kind of reward should we give, right? And if it's a repeated quest, if it's something you can do multiple times, of course, don't give like super unique rewards. But I'm really just referring to like the one-time quests. Like, when you do it once on your character, you can never do that quest ever again. Like, think outside the box on some of those quests. Now, it doesn't have to be every quest, right? It doesn't have to be every quest. But, you know, just think, like, what would a player enjoy? Like, would a player enjoy this kind of a reward, right? Oh, I got a freaking creeper on me. Of course. Let me see if I can book it. Sorry guys, give me... I hate this whole mob training stuff. I know it probably wasn't malicious, but still, it's just, I can't wait for them to fix this. And I know this is something Steven talked about in his live streams, that this was going to be addressed, and thank God. Let me see. Dang, bro, did you get de-leveled or start an alt? No, this is my fighter alt. I still got my ranger. He's level 15. But I will say this. If Intrepid does wipe, I am gonna play the fighter again. I miss my fighter too much. Ooh, level 8. Let's go. Let's go. There we go, man. I miss my fighter so much. Like, it just, I think the ranger just definitely lacks, dude. And dude, what's going on, bro? Mob train has been the worst part about testing. Fighter's an absolute blast. It is. Phase 1, I had a lot of fun playing the fighter. I really enjoyed it. I play like a ranger when soloing. Yeah, I think again, like the ranger just has issues, and outside of the lackluster DPS, I think some of the abilities need to flow better. Every ability on the ranger feels like this ability doesn't go with another ability. There's no flow on the ranger. It just feels like you're just doing separate abilities consecutively. I don't, if that may not make any sense, but with the fighter has a rhythm. There's like certain abilities you do that just feel like this ability goes after this one, and there's like a beautiful cadence with the fighter. The ranger just feels like you just push this button, you push that button, you push that button, and push that button. It doesn't feel good from that regard. Yeah, dude, I've been doing well, man. Thank you so much for asking, Anduin. I hope the Grey Sentinels have been doing well too, man. I'm super excited about the mob train fix. Only good thing from mob train was if your group could handle the mobs free XP sometimes. Yeah, but most of the time, like that wasn't the case. And I understand it from that perspective of, you know, it always sucks whenever you're trying to grind or do something in an area, and then this person is like, because I know Roar was questing in a certain area, and this guy, because Roar wouldn't invite him to his group, he was like, I'm gonna keep training mobs on you until you invite me to the group. And I'm like, why would a person invite you to the group when you're literally training mobs? Like, I don't understand some people's mindset. like you think they're going to invite you to the group when you've been training mobs on them? That doesn't make sense to me, man. Doesn't make sense at all. But people are wild, man. People are wild. So finally hit level 8. Arrive. Holy shit, dude. Good to see you, dude. Oh my god, it's been so fucking long, man. I hope you have been doing well. I am so glad that, you know, Axiom and Genesis have been working well together. Yeah, dude, OG Rive, dude. It's the real Rive, okay? This ain't no fake Rive business. This is the real deal. This is the real deal Rive. Thank you so much, dude. We're just here chilling, man. I just hit level 8 right now on my fighter, and we big chill, man. I hope you guys had a good stream. I don't know what you guys have been up to. I know Roar, you know, Roar's level 25. I'm sure Rive's level 25. Like, I've been slacking. I've been, again, I leveled, I think, to level 22 phase 1, and I didn't even have the ambition to level to 25. I was like, I got up to 22. I think I'm good. Like, I don't want to kill myself in these, is that mob? Who is he following? Oop. 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 Oh, come on. Really? I have switched a tank and have a hard time leveling. Well, and again, if you're gonna level as a tank or even a cleric, you got to be in a group, man. Like, I think if you're gonna try to solo level as a tank, you're gonna have a really hard time. Like, I think you can. I think you definitely can, but it's gonna be hard for sure. Zyback, dude, what's going on, bro? Good to see you too. We're just here chilling, man. We're here. We're killing mobs. Of course. Freaking course. All right. There we go. Sorry, I have to be locked in those moments. Can't take those moments for granted. Scam game, dude? Well, I'm sorry you're misinformed, bro. So sorry you're misinformed. Oh shit, no. Wait, was he even going after me, or was that like something else? I don't know what the hell that was. It scared the shit out of me, but I don't know what the hell that was. It was like that flare must have been going for someone else. MC Fighter, before you get blood fusion, is like a gravity chamber. It's, dude, you'd be so surprised. For all of my non-fighter mains, this ability here is like quintessential in your fighter gameplay. It's just insane. Now, this is a cool additive, but dude, this ability, along with Berserk, it just creates one of the best synergies that I've seen in a class. And I know the only other synergy that I think comes close is like the, you know, shatter from a mage, like setting up your shatter. But I don't even know if that's even equivalent, man, because, oh, Berserk is just, it's so good. The scariest thing is when you grab, an ocular, dude. So I like to farm my herbs in this area here. I think a lot of herbalists like to farm there. And yeah, in Uela. And bro, I was so fucking stupid. So let me tell you a little story. So I was farming in Uela. I was farming my moon bells and my big blue bells and, you know, some snowdrops and shit like that. And I go to the corruption area and there was nothing there. Like nothing. Like I'm like, wow, where's the oculars? And I was looking around and everything like that. And I found 4 big bluebells. And I'm like, oh hell yeah. Like, cause there was nothing there. I went to go and grab one. I grabbed one. Go to the second one. I grabbed the second one. I go to the third one. I instantly die. Instantly. And then I'm like, where the fuck? And there was an ocular that spawned like right in front of me, but just out of my field of vision on my camera. I wanted to punch something. I got greedy. I got fucking greedy. But man, dude, like I was so fucking happy, and then to be so disappointed afterwards was such a letdown. And then I try to go back to my ashes to go and loot my shit, and this is because I had my bags. I have apprentice bags for herb. It was like 75% full, so my one death took out 25% of all my materials. Gone. I could not go back to my body. I couldn't go back to my body. I was so pissed. I was fucking livid. I just decided from that day forward, I am never going anywhere near this fucking area ever again. They one-shot my mountain, hit everything. Yeah, I know. It's terrible. It's really, 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 really terrible. Here, give me 1 second again, guys. Sorry. All right, guys, sorry about that. For those of you who know, my baby's been teething really bad, and she's been crying, and it's hard for me to concentrate because her room is like, I have my game room here. The room over is my daughter's room, and I hear her crying, and it's super hard for me to concentrate because it's like I can't really do anything. She doesn't like to console with me. She likes to console with my wife, but it's like I feel guilty streaming knowing that she's like crying. You're on Vira, right? Yes, I am on Vira. I got a question for you. What is the question, good sir? Let me know the question, and maybe I will give you an answer. Do you wear gather clothing? Can you tell a difference? I am wearing the apprentice, what is it, the skivvies and the shirt. And it's just a white shirt, mind you. I don't, and that's the thing with the gathering stuff, because the RNG is so wide, I can't tell. It's hard for me to determine, am I getting better at my craft? Am I getting more chance at rare material? I don't know. Like maybe I got really lucky in my novice days, but I was getting like heroic, epic, and legendary shit when I was a novice, and I feel like now that I'm apprentice, like I don't get as much. Like, it's weird. But it's hard to determine with that much RNG of there being, what is there, like 7 rarities, right? Well, there's common, uncommon, rare, heroic, epic, legendary, 6. So it's just crazy. Would you rather watch a tree grow or an almost got me, dude. Almost got me. It's not a scam, it's just a piss take. What is a piss take? I don't know what you're talking about. All right, One Jet, I gotcha. If you type that in again, I'm gonna have to time you out. So let's be adults here. Let's be adults. I don't think I've ever timed anyone out. I don't even know how to do that on YouTube. Usually I'm always conducting everything through Twitch. Let me see the waiting for it to came out essentially. Zen Marksman, dude, what's going on, man? Good to see you, buddy. I am chilling on my fighter. I just got him leveled to 8 right now, and we're here. I'm trying to determine, like, now that I'm level 8, like, where can I go? I mean, there's probably a couple of spots. There's these minotaurs here, but I think they're like level 12. I don't know if that's gonna be advantageous for me to go here. There's also the Church of the 7 Stars, but that would require a group. You see, goblins outdid Oaken and keep off the road near entrance. So you're talking about over here in Oakenbane Keep? Or outside of Oakenbane? Like, you're talking this area here? Or the, like... Yes? Okay. Let's head over there. I haven't been Oakenbane Keep since like phase 1. It's been a minute. I am pretty far, but it's okay. Then again, they might hit a Strider and it comes out sooner than we think, or they might hit a stride. My whole thing is that, like, regardless if they hit a stride, don't hit a stride, all I want them to do is just cook. Just continue doing what you did in phase 1, continue polishing the systems, listening to the community, and engaging with us, like, and just keep that cadence of doing what they did in phase 1 throughout phase 2, throughout phase 3, and the game will eventually start forming, and it will start, you know, coming online the way we've all hoped and imagined it would, right? I think people get too caught up in this idea of it coming out sooner, or like them, oh, there's this big thing and it could happen, you know, next year or whatever. It's like, just don't focus. Like, if you're in this community, don't focus on the things that could happen. Focus on the things that are happening. Okay? Focus on the things that you see Intrepid doing, and keep hoping that they keep doing the things they are doing. That's what you got to do. It'll provide a much healthier aspect in your mind, because hoping and praying can get very distressful. And trust me, like, I know that more than most. Six Skull, thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you. Good to see you back on the fighter. I know, dude. It feels good to be back on the fighter, to be honest with you. Like, I really missed my fighter, to be honest with you. So it is definitely nice to be back. How have you guys been enjoying the Steven streams? I think the Steven streams have been very good and interesting. The fact that he's doing them. One thing I really enjoy about Last Epoch is that the developer for Last Epoch, I wouldn't say the developer, but one of the main game leads, he streams Last Epoch every Friday, and he does exactly what Steven does. He's playing Last Epoch and talking about and basically just answering questions from the community, and those have been awesome for Last Epoch. Do you think the Steven streams are damage control at all? I think if he was trying to do damage control, Did you guys see that? Whoa. He just got deleted by nothing. That was wild. Because if he was trying to do damage control, like, he would be talking about things that would require the damage control to be like putting out fires. He's just streaming and finding exploiters and answering chat questions. Like, I guess in my mind, I don't understand what damage control he could be doing for that regard. I think a lot of people have been very excited the fact that he's streaming, and he's been doing a lot of good shit. You know what I mean? So I think people, again, just want to have this very negative sentiment about the game or Steven right now. Why? Like, if you want this project to be successful or good, like, what is the motive? Like, are you thinking you're just being based, or, you know, thinking that Steven is like being disingenuous about making the game, or, you know, like, I don't get it from some people's view. Like, what are you trying to gain? Steven is smart, capitalized on controversy, but what is he capitalizing on? He's not talking about the controversy. He's answering questions about the game. You know, it's not like he did some he went live on his personal stream to then talk about NARC or talk about any of the controversy that's been going on. Like, I think people are just, when Ash's drama starts happening like this, like, people go all in. They go all into the negativity, or they go all into the drama, and they just, it's like high school shit. Like, it's sad. This is also why I haven't I haven't been covering it in like any of my main videos. Like I'll stream about it. We saw my reactions about it or whatever, but I didn't want to make a video about it because it's like, I'm not saying it's pointless. I mean, those videos always get views, always. But what am I going to add to it? Like, y'all know my opinions on it. Like, it is what it is. The only thing I find controversial is giving a streamer a flying mount and not giving the other mares a mount that doesn't rubber band. I think Steven can literally do whatever he wants to do. And if he wants to give a streamer a mount and not give the other people that aren't streamers a mount, that's his prerogative to do so. If I was a mare, you know, and again, I am a streamer, but let's say if I wasn't a streamer and I wasn't given a mount, I wouldn't be butthurt about it. Like, it's just, it is what it is, right? Like, I'm wanting this game to be fleshed out more. I want them to work on the game. I want them to keep putting out updates and keep being consistent and keep talking to the community about it. And that's what they've been doing. So what is it? Like what would I gain from like calling out Steven on like, well, you gave this mayor a mount that's a streamer, why aren't you giving me a mount? It's like, do you sound how it's not even petty, it's just, it sounds like fucking high school shit, elementary even. Like, Marsha took my brush, like, you gotta make her give it back to me. Like, it's what it sounds like. It just it's like, I don't know how we devolve into this fucking mess every time. Let me see, the mayoral mounts are all broken and rubber banding. Well, yeah, and if those mounts are broken, I'm pretty sure, and even I think Steven said it during his stream, that's like one of the top priorities for him, is to fix like the flying mounts and even like firebrand, and there was like some other stuff that he was basically talking about. Oh wait, I can't go this way. It's down. Let me see. Sounds like kindergarten. Really, it really does, dude. It really does. It sounds like kindergarten bullshit. And I'm just like, dude, I'm gonna be 40 years old, bro. I am not gonna engage in that kind of shit. That's why whenever Narc did his whole video on me, I responded to it and I left it alone. Like, a troll wants attention at the end of the day. Like, you keep feeding the troll, they get more and more powerful. You starve the troll, they just move on. They go somewhere else. Oh. What is that? Oh, I was like, what's that green glow? Let me see. Narc's either doing it for self-gain or he's actually a narcissist who believes his own stuff. I mean, like, I'm really tired of talking about the whole Narc thing. Like, I really am. Let me see. You turn right on the road down the way. You'll see goblins in a cave. Oh, hold on. I need to get this Ember Spring real quick. He made a video about you. Yeah, he did. Because I talked to a person that he used to work with for his channel, and he was saying some things about him, and he thought I was basically like drama baiting him or whatever, and I'm like, well, no, like, he reached out to me. He said he wanted to talk, and I was like, oh, cool. I didn't even know he worked for Narc until you told me. He's like, oh yeah, basically this is what all the stuff about Narc and yada yada. And then he made a whole video on me. He did a whole Reddit post about me. He did a whole bunch of shit. And then I had to make a video. I addressed it, turned off comments, because again, his whole community was like coming after me basically. And that was it. I think he's just unhinged. I mean, he's just... You know, he's a content creator for YouTube, right? He wants to... Any drama that can earn chalk him up views, he's just gonna do it. Let me see. I have a lot of respect for you. Super logical takes. I appreciate that, man. I mean, I know, again, if you're trying to find a streamer who is the #1 authority on shit, I'm not him. Okay. I've always said this. I am an idiot. I have the reading level, have the reading knowledge of a 6th grader. I am not the authority on anything, nor am I the authority on MMOs. I am mostly a WoW Andy, but I try to be open-minded to the things that I don't know. Oh wow, that's a 3-star graveyard hob. Is this the dungeon? I get the incentive to cash out with the YouTube video because I've done it in some regards, but man, no, I know. The goblin you killed is in the spot. Oh, the goblin you killed was in the spot. Oh, okay. There was a cave there? I didn't see a cave. Let me go back. Fast spawn rates. And goblins and 1 wolf there. Okay. Well, little cave dwelling. Oh, okay. That's cool. I will farm there. I like killing goblins because they actually can drop gear and they're not too hard to kill. Let me see. That logical and chill out outcome comes from wisdom gained through age and experience. Well, dude, I just, you know, I am wrong a lot, but I am a person that when I am wrong, I don't mind people calling me out that, hey, dude, Vlad was wrong. I'll even call myself out and be like, hey, I was wrong there. A lot of the YouTubers that, you know, I like watching always try to justify themselves as to why they were right, even when they were wrong. And I've just always been of the mindset that I just don't care. Like, if I'm wrong, okay, cool, I'm wrong, I can move on. Like, you know, I don't need the ego-ness of me being like, oh guys, he told you I was right. And I know I joke about it, like I'll say like, guys, you know, look, I was right, but I don't care. Like, it's whatever. And most of the things that I am right about, I wish I wasn't right about. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, man. Like, it is more respectable than being a hypocrite. I mean, I definitely agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Oh, look, a little cave dwelling. Now I know what you meant. Thank you, Zen Marksman. Appreciate it. Let me see. The cover up is always worse than the crime. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Let me see, dude. I know this is a long shot, but could you sort of guess what secondaries would complement fighter? Aside from fighter, LOL. I'm thinking ranger. See, use that bow. To be totally honest with you, I am either looking into fighter or fighter rogue for my own personal gameplay. I would want to see what kinds of augments from the rogue secondary that I could get from my primary fighter. That to me seems really, really exciting. Yeah, rogue is super intriguing. Absolutely it is. Why did I do that ability? That was not the ability for me to do that. But yeah, that's kind of the thing. Narc is 23. Yeah. Oh, what is this? Nice. I'm pretty sure we have that in the guild, so it kind of probably doesn't matter. Yeah, and again, with, you know, dude, when I was in my early 20s, I was such a shitter. Like most people, like, and this is what I tried to tell my little sister. Because my little sister, dude, when she was in high school, she took high school, and I think for women or for girls, like, high school could be like, you know, the popular clique, you know, having this image of, you know, people liking you or whatever, and you think you have all these friends in high school that are going to stay with you forever, and like your whole mindset on life is just so skewed. And I told her, even when you hit 21, throughout your 20s, you're probably going to completely brain reset. This is kind of what I call it. You're going to reset probably 3 more times until you hit 30, because your mindset on so many things is going to just shift and shift and shift, and you slowly start getting to what's truly important in life and what matters. And there's a lot of people, sadly, that don't do that. That's why you see 40-year-olds with the mind of a 20-year-old, because they never either get humbled or they never go through those life experiences to make them reset. I feel like I've had a pretty good life with a lot of tragedy. And that's fine, because most people, you know, all of us here can experience tragedy, and we all take it differently and we all experience it differently. But it's how when you go through things where it forces you to start from square one, or it forces you to look at things in a way that you've never looked at them before. I was about to say that it builds character. And I've had to be humbled a lot, especially in my 20s. When I was in my 20s, I was a shitter. And I'm telling you, and I've said this before on my streams, and for people that have watched me for a long period of time, you will reconsider your life when you've been punched in the mouth. If you are a person who has never been punched in the mouth, whether it's because you said something really stupid and you just been saying shit that's stupid and you've always gotten away with it because no one's ever, just like I said, punched you in the mouth, you just continue to be that very trolly, or whatever that personality starts coming out. That becomes normal for you. Being an idiot becomes normal. And so you continue to be an idiot throughout your 30s or even in your 40s. But when you go through shit that humbles you, it forces you to be like, wow, why was I even like that? Why was I, I had a problem. Like I'll give you a little, another story. I had a problem with rolling my eyes. Like when a person says something stupid, I would roll my eyes. And I remember being in a group when someone said something and they got really upset that I rolled my eyes and they wanted to fight. And it kind of scared me. I was like, holy shit, because I've never gotten that reaction from someone. But then I had to realize, like, that action alone, I don't know what that person went through or what that person, again, maybe their dad did that a lot. Maybe they had trauma from their mom. I don't know. But the actions you do affect others. And that's why, like, as adults, we got to look at the actions, whether they're micro expressions, whether it's our language, or whether it's the tone of our language. All of that's being looked at. Your body behavior is so important. And a lot of people just don't, they think that's just who they are. Well, I'm a person who talks shit. That's just who I am. Or I'm a person that likes to be stupid. That's just who I am. No, that's not who you are. That's what you're choosing to be. And I think you got to start realizing who are you? Like who is this person that is made up of memories of good events, bad events, good times, bad times, whatever. And I had to do that a lot. I've had to self-analyze myself a lot. And that's why I've never really been afraid of other people ridiculing me, or if a person has something to say, or, whatever, because I felt like I've been through the ringer more than most. And if, I'm not saying that I still can't hurt, right? Like, of course I do, but I think I hurt more from the people that I let in my life, the people that I choose to have close in my life, and the people that, like Narc or, whoever, right? Like, why would I let someone like that get to me, dude? Like, I don't know him. He doesn't know me. Like, it's just whatever. Funny that you say this. I've made some mistakes recently. Might end up being fired, but gotta take it. Well, I think also that's the other thing, is that self-ownership. Bro, the amount of people that don't own up to their shit is so staggering to me. Like, not taking responsibility for things is one of the biggest pitfalls you can ever take in your career. And not even your career, but just like you as a person. Like, you have to take ownership for shit. It's gonna suck depending on what it is. And again, learn from those mistakes. Learn from the things that you fucked up on. You know, when you touch fire, fire teaches you very quickly to not touch it again. Treat that the same way. You know? And sometimes going to prison is their fire. Sometimes going to jail is their fire. Sometimes getting hit in the mouth is their fire. But you got to understand that you can't just run through life thinking that you're never going to be punched in the mouth. Because I can guarantee you, you will take a hit one day. And it may not be the hit that you're wanting, is what I'm saying. Let me see. Those people seem to get away with it. That's the sucky thing, or it feels like that. So here's the other thing too. Never ever compare your personal journey with others. That will get you in so much trouble in more ways than one. Only concentrate on your actions and what you do. Don't look at others and the repercussions others take or don't take, because that's their own journey. That's their own walk. And there's a lot of people who do that. Well, so-and-so didn't get that. Why am I getting it? Like, they got away with it. You didn't. That's the fact of life. Like, I'm just trying to tell you kind of the things that I had to learn, because I know when it comes to whether it's school or, you know, we've all experienced those kind of things where, you know, Eric, hit me, or, like, you should do this or whatever. Well, the teacher didn't see Eric hit you, so he's just going to tell you to go sit down. And that's going to piss you off. And guess what? There's going to be things like that too. Eric got the promotion and not you. Even though Eric didn't fucking turn in his presentation, even though Eric slept with the fucking boss's wife, like, it doesn't matter. Focus on you. Concentrate on you. Don't worry about what others are doing, because when you're worried about what other people are doing, you're not focused. You're not truly locked into your own life, so you can't upgrade it. You can't make it better. You can't appreciate the flaws even in your own persona or your own life to then see, like, okay, this is like a thing that I usually catch myself in. And again, they're flaws. I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, but at least when you understand your flaws, you know to not put yourself in certain situations, because those flaws might outshine your own logic. So, freaking Eric. And dude, Eric slept with the boss's wife and got a promotion. Dude, just put in the work. Bro, when I worked at Radio Shack, I saw and experienced some shit, and I think any of us can tell us a story from a job that wronged us, or we put in all this fucking work to get absolutely no recognition, or, have Eric steal your recognition, right? We've all had an Eric in our life. And whenever I chose to just stop giving a fuck, like, it just made my life better. It made me less stressed. It made me more happy. And so I just don't, some of you guys are young, and some of you guys are my age, or some of you guys might be older. But I would rather you guys be happy and understand the real facts of life than go through life the same and still experiencing those harshness and wondering why. You see, the world of wielding is just a pure degeneracy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can only control your own situation. Absolutely. You have to just, again, and this is going to cause you to be content with certain bits, but it'll also motivate you to go further and beyond your own content, right? Like, I can tell you, when I was in my 20s, I wanted so bad to be married. I wanted so bad to find someone, but I was meeting shitty woman after shitty woman. I had a shitty relationship after a shitty relationship, and I got very jaded towards women. Very fucking jaded. But as I started to mature, and as I started to, you know, go throughout my 30s, I had to start realizing that when I meet someone new, I can't treat them like my ex. They aren't my ex. This is a whole ass other person that I've never met before. And I know it's not saying to not have your guard up, but to have your guard so high that you're literally treating them with the same batteredness that your ex was, or the same thing that, you know, your ex did to you. They didn't deserve that. They don't even know you, right? They're trying to get to know you. And I had to learn all that the hard way. And I probably missed out on a potentially good relationship because I treated women so badly when I first met them, because I was still so upset at my exes. I was still so upset about how women are in general. So you just get, you know, jaded. And this is how we are as MMO players too, right? Like, we get very jaded very quickly. And all I'm saying is that you just have to, understand, man, that people are just different. There's all walks of life out there. I was thinking to myself, oh god, all he needs to do is crit on me and I'm dead. Let me see. Well, I learned that advice in around 16 or 17. So I started early there. I see that as a good thing. Absolutely, dude. My dad, when I was growing up, never ever gave me advice. My dad never gave me any kind of advice as a man, as a boy. So I had to learn a lot from my friends. I had to learn a lot through actions. What actions got positive consequences? What actions got negative consequences? And I had to learn through the school of hard knocks. I had to learn through strangers on videos of what it is to be a man, of what it is to be a person that is worth befriending. What actions do you need to have? What kind of attitude do you need to have? All that, you know. I didn't have a dad that was knowledgeable in that regard, and if he was, like, I never knew it. He never once talked to me about certain things, about like how to go through life, what I need to do. Like, I mean, he would tell me like, yeah, of course, get a job, do this, right? It was all very generic stuff. It was never anything oh, of course. Wow. Well, I didn't get a single experience. Are they just killing around the same thing too? Jesus. And see, that's how I feel right now about them and MMOs. You're right. Yeah, I mean, it's... Do I want Ashes of Creation to be the best it can be? Absolutely. You know, do I have my reservations? Absolutely. You know, when you're jaded on something, it is very hard to remove yourself from that It just is. And I'm not saying that, and believe me, like, I am really not trying to preach. I'm not trying to be this, like, I have this superiority complex and I'm holier than thou. I know all this stuff you guys don't. I'm just literally just telling you guys my experience. Like, that's all I'm doing. So don't take it as like I'm trying to, like, you know, teach you or anything like that. I am just trying, if I can pass on advice that I wish I would have gotten earlier in life, like, that's all I would have wanted, you know. Sir Jorah M, dude, thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you. Hope you've been enjoying the stream, man. Do you only get XP if you hit first? No, you not only, so you get you get, when you have the first hit on a mob, you still have to do more damage than another person. And if I don't do as much damage, they can actually steal the kill away from me. I actually might die. Maybe. Whew. What PC specs are you running? Game runs good for me, but graphics is blurry. I run a very top of the line computer. I literally got this pre-made computer because my computer could not handle Ashes. I could play Ashes by itself, but I could not stream Ashes. I could not run OBS with Ashes. It was just too much for my old system. But I have an i9, was a 13K processor. I got 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM. I got a 4080 Super graphics card. Yeah, I have a pretty like beast of a computer now. So yeah, I'm liking two-handed fighter. I'm curious about dual wielding. Dude, I'm curious about two-handed axes. I'm curious about two-handed maces. Like, I want to see the differences, the swings, how it feels. Like, I want to play a two-handed axe really bad. I think a two-handed axe on a fighter would be fucking sick. I cannot wait for that. But yeah, I'm just curious in general for the different weapon types, and also the differences in the weapon trees. Like, what is an axe going to have in comparison to the two-handed sword, right? I got part of the alpha first wave, but took a break before getting into it. I figured I'd check out Twitch and see what people build. Yeah, man. Right now, phase 2, I don't think it'd be a good time right this second to get into phase 2, but I think maybe in February would be probably, and you're just kind of waiting for a little bit more to happen. I'd probably say like February or March, like probably when the Rogue comes out, we'll start getting a little bit more online for phase 2. But as of right now, it's basically phase 1. It just is. Yeah, I'm waiting for release, enjoying these guys test the game and play alpha while I sit back and chill. Yeah, man. Awesome. Damn, I'm getting a lot of glint for doing this. This is awesome. Thank you so much for the spot, Zen Marksman. Really appreciate it. Because there's so many spots, like, to go in. Ooh. Oh, come on, really? How do you make this make sense? 2 intellect and then 1 physical attack speed rating? I mean, is that like Battle Mage? That's crazy. For sure, that's what got me bummed out about the fighter, the fact that he's supposed to be a weapon master, but we can't see how it plays out. But in due time. Yeah, I think a lot of stuff is in due time. I do love the potential that the fighter has. I really do. The potential in the fighter could be amazing. Like, it could be one of the best melees that I'll ever play in an MMO. I don't want to go that far, but I mean, it's definitely like exciting. Like, I think playing a fighter for phase 1, dude, I'm telling you, this ability right here, it is it gets me hard every time. Like, it's so fucking good. When you hit that ability with like 5 mobs there, it's fucking great. My thing was the weekend only playtime. Yeah, 100%. I could definitely see that as well as being an issue. Yeah, I'm excited for dual-wielding swords. I want dual-wielding axes. I want dual-wielding maces. I want them all, man. I want all the weapons. Give me all the weapons. It's good to see you, Mag. Always appreciate you stopping in and watching. Are they still going with different types of physical damage, like slashing, stabbing, blunt? Yes. A lot of it I don't think is in yet, and I think it's because the other passive trees or the other weapon talent trees aren't in it either. But the two-handed sword is supposed to be the most balanced out of the two. And the other thing too is the weapon swings. So there's going to be two-handed weapons. So like, let's say the sword, since it's the most balanced, you'll have like, see my, oh, okay, you can't see it. So how far do you see how far it swings out, like right here? So it has this whole thing right here. A pole arm could actually go out here. It's going to have a longer radius, but it's not going to go this wide. It'll go maybe like this wide, right? So every two-handed weapon is going to have a completely different swing animation. So it's going to have a whole different feel as well. And it's going to prioritize, of course, different things. Like, it could be blunt damage, it could be hemorrhaging, it could be bleeding, it could be slashing, it could be, you know, whatever debuff you want, basically. So, Zen, dude, thank you so much for the sub, man. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Let me see. Rogue better get dual daggers ASAP. Well, dual daggers is probably going to be released when Rogue gets released. I think it'd be very weird for them to release Rogue with dual daggers still not being in the game. My whole thing is that I don't want the Rogue, like, I don't want it, like, if you're a Rogue main, basically, like, that's the only weapon you can play. Like, that'd feel very shitty. So I kind of want them to have more than just dual wielding daggers, but because I think we're still probably like a month out, probably like a month and a half out from Rogue, because I think we're probably not going to get Rogue until February, and I'm thinking mid to end February personally. But we'll see. We will see. What I want, say you're a fighter with a two-handed axe, I'm a fighter with dual wielding hammers. We play out different enough for it to matter. Well, and I think the play style, the button mashing is going to be the same, but it's the prioritization of debuffs, right? How you prioritize your debuff. Wait, did that guy just die? Oh no. I was like, wait, what? So I think that's going to be the kind of different gameplay, right? Is like the gameplay of debuffing is what you're probably going to be experiencing. Gorilla told our fighter with dual hammers if hammers are dual wieldable. I want them to be dual. I mean, when you say hammers, I'm thinking more maces. Is what I get from that. But we shall see. Yeah, I mean, and stuff can change too. And the other thing too is that, I mean, you have to think to yourself, like with expansions or the future of this game, like more weapon types being available, like, oh my god, the potential is just so massive. Like, I know Rangers always talk about crossbows. like, I think crossbows can definitely be in this game, 100%. You know, and I think it's just a matter of like how crossbows are going to be implemented, and I don't think they just had the time to implement another weapon type. But that can definitely come in a major patch or an expansion for Ashes of Creation. There's so much of this game that to be excited about, and just in general. I want to see the Summoner with my Ranger. Summoner secondary archetype is going to be very interesting, in my opinion. I am still a believer of crossbows. Me too. I definitely think... Oh, God. Please, for the love of God. Hold on, I'm going to go over here. Just in case if that thing comes back and I'm on the road and it just, like, sees me and wants to stomp my face in. Is there a date for when it should come out? Sorry, just joined. Not sure if you said this already. Well, thank you so much for joining, Narwhal Jack. If you are interested in the release of Ashes of Creation, it is not going to happen for a very long time. I would say most optimistic release date year would be 2028. But if you are interested in joining the alpha process, you can purchase a key right now, and it costs, I think, $110. And you'll have access of all of Alpha 2, Beta 1, Beta 2, and get 30 days of free game time. So it's up to you. If you aren't super knowledgeable of this project or this game or its testing and anything like that, you know, definitely follow my channel. This is the only thing that I stream. This is really the only game I cover. So I've been covering this game for almost 2 years. I've been in this community for 4 years. So I'm pretty knowledgeable about the systems in the game and, you know, the development as well. So, but thank you so much for joining, man. I really appreciate it. If they come out with crossbows, I'm 100% going Dunir Ranger. Damn, that was a good crit. But as you said, I can wait for it since they have found a way to make a distinct from a longbow and shortbow. Yeah, no, for sure. Well, hey, thank you so much, Narwhal Jack, for the follow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mara Brutus, thank you so much for the follow as well. Thank you, thank you. Dude, we're only 3 away. We're 3 followers away from 1,600 followers. I never beg, but if you're watching my channel right now on Twitch and you're not following, do it. Do it. Become a follower. Let's hit 1,600 tonight. It'd be great. Be a good way to end off stream. Well, I'm not going to stop right now, but you know what I mean. Steven said we should get a preview and have an update in late January or early February, so probably late February for release. Well, I think we could potentially get a January live stream that is focused on the Rogue, 100%. Spicely done, dude. Thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, they need to prioritize the basics, then expand post-launch. Absolutely. And that's what they've been doing. The one thing that Ashes of Creation has not been accused of is scope creep. They've kept pretty much the same exact scope of 2017 till today. You go try to correlate systems of what was promised in 2017 to what's promised. Fuck, I hate these stupid mob trains. Hate them. Rogue could potentially make me switch up mains. Potentially. I know there's a lot of people interested in Rogue. A lot of people. And from what it looks like in the wiki, Jesus, that guy was crushing me. It looks like to be the WoW Rogue. Like literally backstab. What was it? Eviscerate. Like I can go to the wiki right now. We can go look at it real quick. Well, I'm off to watch TV with the wife and then log back in for a few hours to get her to level 15. All right, dude. Dude, thank you so much for the grinding spot. I will see you later. Have a good time with the wife, and we'll see you next time, man. Thank you, thank you. But here, let me bring up the wiki real quick. Oh, wait a minute. I'm an idiot. 1 second. There we go. Rogue. Here we go. So I don't know if you guys saw this in the wiki, but there was a leak in the abilities. See, here's my thing about the fighter. It could be more basic than any other class in a sense, but it could be the class that has the biggest power spike, or the most affected by secondary. Potentially, I could definitely agree with that. This is the list of abilities, and literally all of them except for one come from World of Warcraft. Backstab, feint, kick, lacerate, poison, shadow step, shuriken, stealth, thump. It's kind of crazy, but you know, it makes sense. The only reason, so as a WoW player, I really don't play rogue because I utterly hate the combo system in WoW. I am not a combo person. Getting combo points and spending combo points, I hate that fucking system personally. It's not for me. But if Ashes does something different, because all of the resources in Ashes are kind of basic, right? Like these kinds of things. Not saying that they can't have charges. I mean, Rogue could actually have a different kind of resource. Could. Not saying it will, but it could. They could have an energy resource, right? So they have mana, stamina, and energy, right? That's, again, basically WoW. It could have some potential. I mean, these are the abilities right here. So... Oh, look. There's Wildly Ardor. Hello. Hi, dude. Is an advantage their resource? I don't know. I mean, we'll find out soon, but I don't know. Here, let's do this. Control F. Advantage. Ah, there we go. Consumes advantage. Okay, there it is. So I guess advantage is their resource. Interesting. Really? I heard a rumor that shadowy dual equivalent got data mined for the Ashes Rogue. Found my boy Vladis. Dude, yeah. Which, oh boy. I mean, again, it's going to be very interesting to see. I know other people have been wanting to play the rogue and wanting more information on the rogue. Me personally, I've been more of a summoner guy, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really curious to see how summoner is going to turn out more so than rogue, and especially now because it's just the WoW rogue. So imagination for it is just kind of like plummeted. Like I'm kind of like, oh, okay, it's just the WoW rogue. But I am more interested to see what summoner is going to be. I don't know what avenue they're going to take. Are they going to go the Final Fantasy 14 route with summoner? Are they going to go like Warlock route with World of Warcraft? I don't know. I mean, when you say Necromancer, people get excited. People like myself get excited. I mained a Warlock in WoW for a long time. So do you think it's be hard to balance summoner and PvP? I mean, honestly, do you think it's going to be hard to balance rogue in PvP? I think that's more of a question right there, to be honest with you. Bud Ross, dude, what's going on, man? How was your holidays? Haven't grouped up in a minute. I see you're still ulting a fighter. Yeah, I mained a fighter in phase 1, but I've, decided to see what that experience was like, which I'm not really enjoying I'm not enjoying my ranger experience too much. But yeah, I've always loved the fighter, man. It's good to see you, man. Hope you had a great holiday season too, man. You see, I think they'll probably go the Demonology Warlock route, dude. And if they go the Demon, dude, that will be my main, 100%. I love the Demonology Warlock. That was the spec that I always mained. I didn't do Destruction or Affliction. It was Demonology. And if that's the case, God, just thinking about it just makes me all gooey inside. Let me see. Summoner had a flaming skull attack, I think, but it got removed from the wiki. Maybe another fake leak. Probably a fake leak. I mean, I think, to be totally honest with you, there is zero chance that anything for Summoner would get leaked at this point. And the only reason why the stuff is data mined for Rogue, or it got data mined, is because clearly PI is probably testing Rogue. Rogue is probably available for testing in some private server somewhere, and that information is there. Because if Rogue was still in their own back-end testing, they wouldn't have gotten that information. So it has to PI, because PI is still doing their own personal stuff. They're still testing their own shit. So it's good. I'm glad they're getting, if the PI is testing Rogue, I'm hoping that they get a lot fleshed out with it before it actually gets released to the masses. The last thing needs to happen is the Rogue comes out and it's an utter disaster and people are pissed, right? See, I'd go Summoner Fighter and be a melee bruiser. Ooh, that'd be fun. Honestly, like, depending on how Summoner is, I might be Summoner. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not really going to my wet dream class. Let me see. I think rogues are always squishy and has a very risky playstyle, so it's always evens out, especially in groups. But Summoner feels harder, in my opinion. Like how to make sure the main player doesn't do too much damage if it also has a pet of some sort, and the fact that it will probably have a variety of pets, I imagine. Potentially. In my personal opinion, the philosophy of the Summoner needs to change. I don't like the idea they have of the Summoner being a jack of all trades. That statement to me does not bode well. I don't like that statement, jack of all trades, because that literally means I can do everything, but I can't do it well. So I'm a mediocre tank, I'm a mediocre healer, I'm a mediocre support, and I'm a mediocre damage dealer. Why would you do that to a class? I would rather just have the Summoner be one of the main 4 archetypes. Make it be a support, have it compete with Bard, or have it be a damage class. And just because I think we actually need damage. Like the fact that there's what, four main classes of damage, which is Rogue, Fighter, Mage, and Ranger. Like, so add another damage dealing type, or hell, make Summoner like a fucking healer. Like, I don't care, but just don't make it a jack of all trades. Like, I think that's a big mistake, because I don't know if that approach is the way to go with Summoner. I really don't. I think Summoner's going to have people mad being able to do everything. Yeah, but they can do everything, but does it do it well? Right? Like that's the main concern I have. Like I want to excel in something as the Summoner. Like I don't want to feel like I'm less than to every other class. Because damage has to be better because I am not a damage dealer. Well, healing has to be better because I'm not a healer. Like you're lumping this one particular class in a shithole, in my opinion. Like I could be wrong. I could be wrong on this. Maybe I'm reading too much into the whole jack of all trades line, but I read that and I get very worried. I get very, very concerned because I'd rather just it be another DPS class or another support class. I think personally, if I had my own opinion, I would make it a DPS class, but I also would not mind if it became a true support class. Because in my opinion, look how good Bard deals damage. You know what I mean? Fuck, I'm gonna die. I was like, I had a feeling I'm gonna die. I should have just fucking ran and just started arrowing out. I'm worried because it's a class I want to main. Well, me too. Like I am definitely sorry. I heard something weird and I was like, what the fuck was that? But yeah, I'm very interested in the Summoner class because that was my main for many years in WoW. But I also mained a Hunter. I mained a Hunter actually. That was the longest main I ever mained because I mained it from Burning Crusade all the way till WoD. And whenever Legion came out, I stopped playing Hunter because they transformed Survival Hunter into a melee class, and that pissed me off. So, wow, someone stole my stuff, really? I wasn't even gone for that long. Like, who stole my stuff? Jesus. Well, what did I lose? Ah, well, I lost one of my glowing glints. Yep. Yeah, some level 10 on a horse is rich now. I wouldn't say rich, but yeah, that's whatever. I got 1,600 experience debt. I don't even think it's any of these guys because you have to flag as a combatant. I don't see any of these people as a combatant. All right, well, I think it's a little past my due time. I've been streaming for about 3.5 hours. I think I'm gonna go. So I want to just thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, hanging out with me. Always appreciated. Thank you. And let's see who is streaming the Ashes category right now. Oh, look. Lude Lloyd is on. Tangent is on. Let's go give some love to Lude. To Lude Lloyd. All right, guys. It was a pleasure. I'll see you guys on the next one. If you haven't watched my Professions video, go give it a watch on YouTube. I think it's a pretty good one. But thank you guys so much.